listen to that part if you haven't yet. When I touch into your energy, I get a feeling of you not really being clear about where you want to go, who you want to be, what you want to do. I get a feeling of you having bigger dreams, but you don't know how to take the steps to get there. And I also get the impression that you, it's almost as though not knowing how to get there holds you back rather than taking one step at a time. Okay. I have to tell you this, and this is really strange. So just keep this in mind. Have you ever contemplated going into the field of like news reporting or TV work, radio, anything like that? Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Yeah, I have before. I think I have talent for it. I could have. And
yes.
But always, every time I try something, my own self-confidence that is almost non-existent, and my ideas get in the way, and I don't get there.
Okay. So what you've got to do,
in my own way.
You've got to do. Yes, you've got to get out of your way. Okay. And the way to get out of your way is to take a small action step towards something. Say that is a career you decided you want to pursue. So you find a college or whatever, a training, whatever is around, or maybe you can get an entry-level job someplace at a TV station, radio station, something like this. So the first step you might do is just to research to see what opportunities are around you. What can you do? Can you, is there someplace you work? Is there something you can do? Then what you do is you just take one step of action. You've got to take the action. If you don't take the action, you're going to get stuck and you'll be right where you are.
I don't know why taking action scares me, so I'm sorry I cut you, but that's the thing. I don't know why taking action scares me.
Probably because situations in the past have shown you that you shouldn't trust yourself. Something may have happened in the past where somebody called you stupid or something and you don't trust yourself. So by taking these small actions doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do it anyway. You go anyway.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yes, you've just got to try. So think about what you really want and whatever that is. And I have to say, I'm seeing TV and radio. So think about that. Then just research, see what it is, and take one small action step. Going on a website, checking something, seeing it, applying for a job, whatever it is. Whatever, very, very small. It doesn't have to be big. It could be going to visit a station and say, I'd love to watch this because I'm contemplating going into this. Could you teach me? Or ask somebody to show you something. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be huge. And you've got to remember, being courageous. And looking at, I might be getting a warning that I'm running out of time. So if you can be very, very fast, let me see what I've got. I've got 90 seconds. So I don't think I'm going to have time.
I'm sorry. It's just that with meditation, I noticed that I also developed psychic abilities and I'm scared of them.
Okay. Well, first things first. Okay, first things first. With the meditation and the abilities, you just got to trust. Both of these things involve trust. I tell people all the time, a lot of my clients, you've got to trust. You've got to trust God. You've got to trust spirit. You've got to trust everything around you that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. But without your taking action, nothing will change. So you must take action. Small steps. So you got to believe. You just got to believe. Now I'm going to have to let you go, unfortunately, Alexis, because
thank you so much.
I literally have hardly any time left. But thank you so much.
Namaste. Thank you.
Okay, bye. And that was Alexis from Peru. So very interesting. Now I could probably spend about an hour with her, I think. So I want to thank you all for watching and listening today. I'm Colleen van der Zijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. And you have a wonderful week. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.
This is A1R.
A1R. The Ask One Radio Network.
Persian medium Fiona is now
now on avidadvice.com. Psychic Mastermind.
Do you see children in our future?
Yes, of course. I see the building family almost 3 or 4 months.
Wow. I'm wondering if there's any loved ones around.
I feel the energies are telling me about a man. He's tall. He was married before, but it was not a real marriage because it sounds to be the person cheating on him. No kids around, no brothers, no sisters, your age or almost 3 years older.
I think I might know who this person is.
Okay.
I think I might know who he is, yeah.
Okay.
You may already know of Persian medium Fiona from her radio shows, her television shows, her groundbreaking detective work, and from just about every corner of the web. Only a site with the integrity and the purpose of avidadvice.com could land her. She's available now. avidadvice.com. Psychic Masterminds.
I don't recycle. I mean, we can just find another planet for your kids to live on, you know?
Noted non-recycler Tommy Crenshaw talks about the future.
Oh, I can totally see finding another planet that can support life when ours fills up with trash.
Log on to yougottabekidding.org and learn about all the ways you can recycle, unless you're into lame excuses like Tom.
Hey, recycling's just not my thing. Starting over on a new planet? Now that's exciting.
Don't be that guy, unless you want people looking at you funny. Log on to yougottabekidding.org.
A1R Psychic, Metaphysical and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Amanda Hall Psychic with Amanda Hall. Live from AmandaHallPsychic.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Amanda Hall Psych on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic. I hope you're having an absolutely awesome week wherever you are in this planet of ours. We have to kick the show off with where I'd like to ask everybody to just sort of hold hands for a couple of seconds and really send our positive thoughts and vibrations and prayers to everybody in the California district that's fighting those terrible bushfires at the moment, those terrible fires going on in the California hills. I know that many people have lost their homes and, you know, that's a very tragic thing, but, you know, fingers crossed we won't lose any lives. But, you know, fire is one of those very unpredictable things that we just never know how it's going to play out. And it's a scary thing. If you've ever lived through a bushfire, which I have when I was a child, it is the most scary, frightening thing because it is so unpredictable. So anyway, to kick the show off on a more positive note, I'd like to welcome all of our UK and Ireland visitors. We launched last week at a different time slot, so it's a little bit more friendly to you guys overseas. And it's wonderful because we had such an amazing response and my inbox was full with lots of people saying, wow, we love the shows, really great, really nice that it's on the civilised time of the day here for us to be able to join in with you. So that's all positive news. So let's kick the show off now with the Simply Tarot card of the week, which is the Knight of Wands. Now, a lot of people have issues when we start looking at the court cards in the tarot. They say to me, Amanda, what does this mean? You know, I've got these people turning up in my readings. Now, I always try and teach people, yes, it can be a person, but usually more times than not, it's the secondary meaning of the card. Now, if we were looking at any knight or any page, it is somebody that represents up to the age of 25 years. It is usually not an older person, but I want to be very clear, if it's your son or your daughter, they will always come out as pages for the girls and knights for the boys, no matter how old they are, because they're still our children and they're always our babies in our eyes, even when they're 60. So the Knight of Wands is a young man up to the age of 25. This is usually a medium-coloured man with green to hazily coloured eyes. The secondary meaning is an important letter. Now, in today's modern technology, where we don't get a lot via the snail mail anymore, this can be an important SMS, text, email, and it can also be the old-fashioned fax. I mean, yes, it can be a snail mail letter, but it's something that is important to you. It is not necessarily official or government. So it's a message or a letter, if you want to look at it that way, that has had some importance for you in the next week. So kicking the show off a little bit more, we need to keep moving because we have lots of things to cover this week. Look, I'm really excited I want to jump straight into our glimpse around the universe. And it's really exciting this week because we've got the planet Jupiter has just gone into Sagittarius. Now, I'm really excited being a fellow Sagittarian, but it's also an opportunity for everybody around the globe in the coming 12 months to make hay while the sun shines. Yes, it has more influence on Sagittarians, Aries and Leos, but the planet Jupiter is the planet of expansion, opportunity and luck. And when we use the word expansion, that can also mean expanding waistlines. If we're in a good paddock and we're eating too well or eating too many things we shouldn't be eating, well, then the waistline will expand. But I'd like to look at the expansion of opportunities, of being able to bring things into our lives that are going to make our lives feel more successful, more productive, and be able to relate to people better, because it is the planet of luck and opportunity, but that also means we've got to get up off the couch. Nobody knocks on the door and says, hey, would you like this opportunity? You do have to be proactive in attempting to bring towards you the things that you want to achieve in your life. Nothing happens by chance, I don't believe. You have to get up there and actively make it happen. Jupiter sits in an astrology sign for approximately 12 months. Each time. So it's just come out of being in Scorpio for the last 12 months, which was pretty intense. And we saw a lot of things change around the world, where we saw a lot of things really being brought to the surface that had been hidden for a long time, whether it was in the political arena or whether it was in other areas around the globe. We saw a lot of shifts and changes in energy and a lot of things being brought to the surface that people said, oh, I didn't realise that, or I didn't realise this, and really started to get on board and tried to sort things out. Now the energy's shifted into Sagittarius. It's going to be a little bit lighter, hopefully. But also I'm hoping it's going to bring about some positivity, that maybe some of the resolutions that we need to find to some of the global problems can now be done in a brighter sort of fashion, or in a fashion where the world leaders will actually get together and have conversations, that something positive comes out of it. There's some fire in their belly that they're going to actually do something about it, not just have a talk fest. For those of us on a personal level, it's going to be more the time where we can start new projects. We can start to feel a little bit more positive in our own lives. And it's a time that I think that we should get out and explore the outdoors a little bit more. But on a deeper sort of level, it's a time when I think we need to look at what we believe in. Now, some people are religious, as in wanting to attend church and believe in God. And there's a lot of people that have their own type of religion or their own belief systems. Neither one or the other is any better than the other. But what I'm going to ask you to do in this next 12 months, regardless of your star sign, is start to try and find the belief system or the system that works for you, and start to try and enhance that and build upon it and look to a higher sort of place. It's a really a good time where we can all get in touch with our higher self or our psychic ability, or start to listen to our hunches and our guidance that comes from within, and start to develop that more. And it's all about trusting. It's about trusting in what you're being given. You know, if you work with your spirit guides, your guardian angels, or passed over relatives, whatever your belief is, there's no one size fits all. It's a matter of listening to your own instincts, listening to that gut feeling. If it feels right, then do it. If it feels wrong, if it's got a question mark, then stop and look and listen before you proceed. And then that way that you'll start to find things will flow more importantly and easily into your lives in the coming 12 months. I'm really excited because, as I said, Jupiter only comes back into a sign once every 12 years, so it's a really symbolic time for Sagittarians. It's time to make hay while the sun shines and really create amazing opportunities that you can in your lives. And we're very fortunate, us Sagittarians, because Jupiter's going to sit in this sign for 13 months, which is really unheard of. It doesn't happen very often. It's usually just on the 12 months. So I was very fortunate enough over the weekend to go and visit, go to a show here in Australia with the one and only John Edward, the psychic medium. And it's my second time I've been to one of his shows. Can I say that it's a life-changing experience? If you ever get the opportunity to go and sit in one of John's shows, you will certainly walk out of there with a completely different perspective on the other side, and how that our passed over loved ones are always with us, and that, you know, that it can be such a healing experience. And, you know, I was very fortunate. That was my birthday present, and I'm going to be very lucky, and I'm getting to go for my Christmas present as well in another couple of weeks, because John booked in shows closer to home to me, so I get to go twice this year. So let's move on to the next part of the show. Now, each week we feature an important or a celebrity in our astrological section, and we started a brand new segment last week where we're looking at famous actors and actresses as we move our way around the zodiac. So this week we're up to Aries, and we're up to a female. And when I started to do the research on this, look, I had so many possibilities, so many choices that I could choose from, but I chose Mandy Moore. Now, the reasons why I chose Mandy Moore is in a hit television series that's screening around the world called This Is Us. And I feel it's probably one of the most controversial series that has been aired in many, many years. It's going to be something, in my opinion, that's going to go down in history as one of those classics, that it doesn't matter how many times you watch the episode, you've always got the box of tissues there, but there's so many layers on so many levels. Are they dealing with controversial issues that I think can go across the generations and probably become timeless? And when I first read about this show, it really fascinated me, and I thought, oh, this will be good. I couldn't wait for it to come to Australia, and we were like 6 months behind the US, and I was reading all these rave reviews, and I kept on thinking, I hope we get it, I hope we get it. When we did eventually get it, at first it took me a little bit of time to understand what the concept was about. It was about triplets being born, one passed away and they added another one, and it became this blended family, and it was the journey of the triplets. Well, interestingly enough, Mandy Moore plays one of the lead roles in this. She's the mother in the series, and she plays an absolutely amazing dramatic role. And she's actually probably a little bit younger than some of her so-called children on the show, which is quite interesting, but they all in their own individual right play an amazing role, and they cover so many areas of topics that I think we all try and shove under the carpet. So Mandy, this wasn't her first time out on the screen, so to speak. Mandy's been a singer, songwriter, an actress for many, many years. She's had many awards. She's been in many series, many movies. She's done many voiceovers. She's won too many awards to mention here in this little segment. But if you get the chance, if you haven't watched This Is Us, can I suggest try and find a way of downloading it and watching it from the very beginning. And it is something that's going to take you a little bit of time before you get into it. But once you get the gist of it, you'll see the layers that I'm talking about. I loved it that much that I actually went out and bought the DVD. As each season finishes, I buy the DVD and sit down and watch it again from beginning to where I'm up to. Because each time I watch it, I do get more out of it. So we salute you, Mandy Moore. You're doing an amazing job bringing some issues to everybody's lounge room that needs to be discussed in this part of the world, and I suppose all around the world, but in this century that I think will become timeless. So this week we're going to be featuring the water sign candle, because it is the sun in Scorpio this week we're going to be talking about. So the sun in Scorpio, it's the Scorpio time of the year. It's where all the Scorpions, happy birthday out there. It's a time where we really need to be sort of focusing on the things that we need to bring to the surface. It's a time of great intensity, of really understanding our emotions and working with our emotions and sort of saying to ourselves, it's okay. We don't have to like everybody. We don't have to embrace everybody, but we can sort of find a way to cohabitate. And I think that's the message that the Scorpio energy brings to us, that we have the right to sort of be a little bit reserved and sort of be blunt and honest with somebody when we need to be too, that we don't always have to be nice and pussyfoot around issues, that we can be very blunt and flop it on the table and say, I'm not happy about this because of X, Y, Z, and I think we need to find a solution. So that's what the Scorpio energy can bring to us. Plus it's a water sign, and it's water in as much as it's frozen ice. So if you think of an ice cube, the ice cube can thaw a little bit and then it melts and then it starts to refreeze. And each time it melts and refreezes, it becomes stronger, it becomes more intense. So if you're working with one of my extra large candles, they have a dual wick system. I like to light 1 wick one day and 1 wick the next day. What that does is it gives you a longer burn time, and it also sort of prevents the glass container from getting too hot. I know a couple of times, and I know I mention it often, that I have had 1 or 2 of my candles crack, and this is when I started to burn alternate wicks. And it's only happened twice out of all the years I've been working with candles, but it's one of those things that I'm very anti sort of, let's prevent anything that we can. Plus also it gives you a much longer burn time. Instead of getting 40, 50 hours out of your candle, you can get up to nearly 100 hours. So what would we do with a Scorpio candle, I hear you ask? Well, what we'd be needing to do is write down some things on a list that maybe we need to talk about, maybe we need to bring to the surface. Is there anything that's been hidden in our lives that we feel now should sort of float its way up to the surface so we can start to deal with it? And we might need to wiggle it around a little bit and find its level. But that's what we can put under our Scorpio candle. So the sun in Scorpio will be there till approximately about the 21st of this month, and then we move into my favourite time of the year, the Sagittarian energy. But it's always important that I think we embrace each of the 12 signs as we move through them. No matter what our star sign is, there's always lessons. There's always things that we can learn by visiting that other energy. So that's important, that we need to be embracing that. So for those of you that don't want to work with an extra large candle, we do have a travel kit. This is our travel box. This week I've made it up of the water signs. So the water sign candle actually covers the 3 water signs. So it covers the Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. So we didn't make an individual candle for each of the star signs. We put them into what's known as elements in the fire, earth, air and water. So that makes it a little bit more cost effective. Now with these ones, they've only got 1 wick. They burn for about 15 hours. So write your list, pop your list underneath the candle before you light it, always making sure that you put your candle on a coaster, and then read your list out aloud before you light your candle. So you want to work with your candle for somewhere between 15 minutes to 2 hours a day. That will give you the maximum intent, purpose and direction that you're looking for. For those of you that don't have the space or don't want to work with a candle because you think it's a little bit too dangerous, you've got children running around or pets, or it's a little bit hot like it is here in Australia as we're heading into summer, and you've got the aircon going and you think, gee, that could be a bit dangerous. It could blow a piece of paper on the candle and burn the house down. I have the perfect solution for you. This is called a melt warmer. Now, melt warmer, we pick them up here in our supermarket here or a department store, variety store. They're around about $15 here in Australia, and they're electric. Have a little button on the side that you can turn on. So what you do, when you're first putting something into your melt warmer, you'll need about 2 teaspoons of soy wax that you can take out of your candle. Every day after that, you put about half a teaspoon in, and you write your list, pop it underneath the melt warmer as you would the candle, put that on a coaster, turn it on, and you can safely leave that going in your home or your office while you are there. You don't need to be babysitting it because there is no flame, and just make sure you turn it off before you leave the home or leave the office or go to bed of a night, and it'll work very, very well. It works exactly the same way as using a candle, probably more economical because you're using less soy wax. When you're finished with using your wax for the week and you want to change it, getting ready for the new week, what I suggest is take your little dish that the wax is in, pop it in the freezer for a couple of minutes, and then you'll be able to easily get a plastic knife underneath the wax and lift it out of the container very easily, and then wash it up in hot soapy water, give it a good rinse and a dry, and then you're ready to start again. So we've covered all those sort of things, and I think now it might be time if we take a call, and we're going to talk with Christina in Huntington, West Virginia, USA. Are you there, Christina?
Yes.
How can I help you tonight, Christina?
I am looking, if possible, to get in touch with my grandma.
Right. No guarantees we can do that in such a short time here tonight, Christina. Do you have a direct question I can work with? If Grandma wants to come through, she will.
I was just wondering, though, if she's okay.
Oh, look, they're always okay on the other side. That's a question that I can answer without needing to even try and tune into Grandma. Once somebody passes over and they go to the other side, they're always okay. The thing is, I suppose for us as being left behind here on Earth, we're always concerned that what is it like on the other side? Are they happy? Are they settled? Are they not in any pain? Do they know what we're up to? Do they know we miss them? Do they know we love them? All those sort of questions are very obvious questions that we as human beings left behind ask. I can categorically tell you there is not one person on the other side that isn't happy, settled and pain-free. Everybody is pain-free. So if they had an ailment here, whether they couldn't breathe or couldn't walk, they certainly don't have that on the other side. They are always with us. And that's the thing that I think most of us fail to realise, is that we're looking for this great sign. That, you know, we're expecting grandma to sort of come and stand in front of us in some great apparition like a ghost and sort of we'll know it's grandma. Well, they're not usually quite that strong in that way. What they normally do is they share with us things that they know should mean something to us. Now, quite often people sort of message me and say, oh, Amanda, I've had the lights flickering on and off, on and off, on and off. I've had the electrician out, nothing wrong. That's usually someone from the other side trying to get our attention. The same thing if the television or the radio turns itself on and off without you doing anything. Again, they're trying to get your attention. It can be moving a photograph. It can be doing something just to get your attention. Now, when that happens, go with who you think it is. If you think that's grandma, say, hello, grandma, how are you? It's lovely that you came to visit. Because all as they want to do is get your attention to know that you know that they're there. They're not always going to be on tap. We don't have a direct dial telephone number to the other side to say, good, I want to dial up grandma. It's a matter of knowing that they're always with us and that we have to put in as much effort here from Earth as they do from the other side. It should be an equal exchange of energy. It's all well and fine you saying, I want grandma to come through and give me some guidance. Well, have you actually given grandma any energy? You know, have you said hello to her? Have you said thank you to her? Have you acknowledged that you know that she's around? So I hope that's helped you, Christina.
Yes, it helps loads. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. We're going to Carl in Grapevine in Texas, USA. Are you there, Carrie? Carrie, I beg your pardon. I can't see without my glasses. Are you there, Carrie?
Okay. Hello.
I've just given you a new name. Your name's Carl now.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
That's all right. How can I help you tonight, Carrie?
Hi. Well, I am kind of going through some separation and some legal things, as well as just kind of wanting to know anything in my near future as far as career changes or moves.
Okay, Kerry, the first thing that they were showing me as I was tuning into you was you've got massive changes. So I'm not surprised you're going through a divorce. I'm not surprised you're looking at a potential career change, and sort of everything in your life at the moment is up for grabs. Everything's up for change, up for renewal. And this is a positive thing, Kerry, because I feel when we go through a massive turning point in our lives, like, you know, we get married or we get divorced, and they are major events. They're not something we do every week, that it then instigates other changes behind it. It's like a domino effect. So first and foremost, I want you to stop blaming yourself or taking on board as much of the blame for the divorce and the reason for the marriage ending. Because what they're showing me here is you've literally taken all the blame on your shoulders and let him off the hook. And I don't want you to do that. You know, there was fault on both sides. So let's give him some of that responsibility back, that he was responsible for some of it as well. So that's the first thing that they're showing me. You need to be able to do that, to be able to heal, sweetheart, so that we can heal you in a way that you're going to be super confident to move forward with your life in every area. So that's your first bit of homework. The second bit is, I don't know that I necessarily feel that there needs to be a career change just yet. What they're showing me is if we can coast along till about February, March next year, things will be a lot clearer then at what the next steps are. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean we can't use this time to maybe get some new skills, do some study, you know, learn something new in preparation for changes that will come about then. So it's a time, I think, of great healing, of allowing yourself to just sort of sit and be and say, I don't know yet. You know, I've got some ideas, but I'm not sure yet which way I want to move next. And that's important. I feel 2019 from about March onwards is going to be so incredibly busy you won't have time to scratch. So we need to use this time to heal, have a rest, Go through every area of your life. You know, it's a good time to go through the closet, go through your book collection, go through your music collection, you know, things like that. Have a little trip down memory lane, have some reminiscing, have some tears, have some laughter, have some anger, have whatever it is that it brings up, because this is all part of the healing process as well. There will be a new man next year too as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Next year is just going to be such a
already know him.
If he's got dark hair, then yes, you do.
Well, all the men in my life have dark hair, but I don't have any necessarily on the radar.
Got very, 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 very dark hair, almost black hair. I don't think you've met him yet. Because they keep showing me that this is going to be a surprise. And I don't think it's till about the middle of next year. Look, I'm not saying if you're dating someone now, don't, you know, get all upset about it. Just let it run.
Not even on the radar.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but this man's not coming in before about June, July next year. They showed me he's got very, very dark hair, a really nice sort of a man. I've got a tall, dark-headed man, good looking, and he's got a lovely smile. But that was about as much as they showed me, because they feel that there's other things that you need to achieve before we get to that point. Like, you know, making sure that you forgive yourself and not take on all the responsibility of the marriage breaking down. Is there going to be a move as well, Kerry?
I really would love for there to be, but I just don't feel like right now it's the best time.
No, it's not. It's not. Again, I want to come back to not after March. You know, I just want you to stay where you are now till about February, March, and then everything starts to become clear. But I do feel from about February onwards, you'll be starting to look for a new job. I think there's a new job from probably mid to late March, which is going to take you into a different direction to where you are now. Not completely out of where you've been, but just taking it onto a different path. And it seems to be far more rewarding than where you've been now, which is good. So, you know, next year I think is a really good thing. So is there children there already?
Yes, I actually was just about to ask. I have a daughter. She's about to be 3.
I can see 3 all up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but when they show me 3, I mean, if you've already got one and you're going to meet somebody else, he might already have one, and then you have one together. I just know that I could see 3 around you, 2 girls and a boy.
Okay.
So let's not sort of, you know, get too excited yet. You might not be giving birth to the next 2. You know, there might only be 1 that you're going to give birth to, but I can see 3 as your family being complete.
Okay.
Your daughter's very wise. She's got a lot of wisdom for such a young person, doesn't she?
She does.
She's the mother and the daughter. Yes, but it's like she's the mother and you're the daughter, and you should do as she tells you.
Yes, she likes to boss people around.
Yes, she does, but she's good at it. I think that sort of indicates when she grows up, she's going to be in a position of authority, because she really does like being in charge. But she's got such wisdom about her. Look, I don't think she's going to be a difficult child to raise. I think you've just got to be aware of, you've got to set her definite boundaries and stick to them, because she needs that regimented unity, you know what I mean? Like, these are the boundaries and we can't cross them because these are the consequences, because she just has a way of getting around everybody. She smiles and that's it.
Yes.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Persian Medium Fiona is now on avidadvice.com. Psychic Mastermind.
Do you see children in our future?
Yes, of course. I see the building family.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. It's time for Creating an Inspired Life with Colleen Vanderzijde. Live from PsychicMediumColleen.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Creating an Inspired Life on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, I'm Colleen Vanderzijde, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I want to thank you so much for watching and listening today. I have a great show planned for you. I'm a medium, and as a medium, I connect in with our loved ones on the other side. And I'm also a certified life coach. And as a life coach, I help people create the life of their dreams. I help them take action steps to solve their problems so that they can move into their most inspired, unique, awesome life, the life they deserve to have. On this show today, I have a special guest. We have Jacob Cooper here, who is a mental health counselor, a hypnotherapist, and a Reiki master. He's also a public speaker on the afterlife. And I want to mention his website right now so I don't forget. It's jacoblcooper.com. Today, we are going to be talking about near-death experiences, and I know Jake has a great story to share, and we're also going to talk about the afterlife. And part of the reason this is such an important topic for us is so that we can know further what's going to happen beyond this physical life that we have. The afterlife, another name might be heaven or the other side, whatever it is that you like to use. Having some awareness that there's more to life than what we physically are experiencing at this time can help us actually live the life we're having now to a much higher degree of satisfaction. So we're going to have some fun tonight. It's going to be awesome. You're going to get so much great information on this. So Jake, thank you so much for coming on the show and being here today to share your stories and stuff. So before we hear your near-death experience story, can you tell us first what a near-death experience is?
Sure, absolutely. A near-death experience usually occurs, due to suffocation, cardiac arrest, shutting down of the body. It's not a close-to-death experience. It's a near-death experience is one in which normally an individual will go through a period in which they have an option either of staying or going. They'll have what's called a life review, encounters with deceased loved ones, soul family groups, usually it's sometimes there's also the phenomenon of the tunnel, but it occurs to it has occurred to a small percentage of the population, in which consciousness continues despite the shutdown or cardiac arrest that occurs. So it's quite an interesting phenomenon, and its paradigm, challenges in a way the scientific community, which as a consciousness merely is just stored within the body. And so having a near-death experience and still having your ability to think and to have such incredible mystical experiences truly does pose a question to that paradigm. And it's quite interesting, but it's been around for a while. It's got incredible historical roots. Historical figures such as Abraham Lincoln, Winston Churchill, Elizabeth Taylor, to name a few, have been some notable NDEers. And so it's quite a fascinating phenomenon that's really taking on a whole new form and shape these days.
It's so interesting because a near-death experience, in the short term is NDE, a near-death experience, really what's happening, isn't it then that the people are actually dying and crossing over, but then something shifts and they don't stay on the other side. That's correct, yes?
Yes. That would be a death, or we don't believe in death, but that would be just change of form, in my opinion, if that occurs. But yes, you come back to life after that experience in the physical earth plane. So it's fascinating, and I'm very fortunate to be one of the few individuals who have had one. Sure.
Yes, so let's hear about your story. How old were you? What happened? All the details. We want to know it all.
Sure. So categorically, I would have what's called a childhood near-death experience. Mine occurred at the age of 5. And so near-death experience researchers and notable an individual by the name of PMH Atwater, who's a highly regarded researcher for near-death experience, discusses that it takes about 20 to 30 years to fully integrate and process a childhood near-death experience. So every day is a journey to really cultivating understanding my experience. But my experience, dude, in short, it occurred due to the deprivation of oxygen as a result of a disease that I had at the time called whooping cough. And I suffocated at the age of 5. And after all my vital organs began to shut down, I began to have the whole plethora of lists of near-death experience, including a powerful experience in a tunnel, which has been made kind of like a cultural phenomenon by the media, but it doesn't occur within most near-death experiences. Actually, I was able to encounter my own spiritual guides. I was able to encounter my soul family. I was also able to look at time in a whole new paradigm where it did not exist, and past, present, future was one. So not only was I able to look at what's called my own Akashic records, a hall of records, and look at previous carnations that were prevalent to this carnation, I was also able to look at potential events that are unfolding every day that have happened. So I was able to get an idea of what the future holds. It also, I also experienced Christ consciousness, Christ awareness, encounters with about hundreds and thousands of angelic beings. I had a profound life review. So it's just fascinating, to say the least. So yeah, I'm very blessed to have all those experiences.
That's so cool. Because it's very interesting to think, as a 5-year-old, to go through that experience and not be ready to know what it is. It's kind of cool. And so who did you see on the other side? Did you see relatives and things like that?
Who I encountered would, to put it into language, because that's my challenge in having a near-death experience is to devise some kind of lexicon for this profound mystical experience. But to me, what I would define it is as a soul group. And to me, my understanding of soul group is a similar energy that you carnate and reincarnate. It's almost a ray of God that you're a part of from the dawning of the onset of your own existence. And it's just almost like a spiritual team or family that you're with. And there's a lot of karmic ties. And, some are biological, some that you have connections with on a work base, but it just to me is an energetic, profound connection that goes well beyond this carnation. So I was able to see, family members, in my own family who were deceased, as well as not only just family members, but people who I was involved with on a professional basis as a teacher and healer. So it was just fascinating. And when I saw every face, I knew who they were instantaneously. And I couldn't get over how I forgot all that I was connected to and all that I was a part of. It's so much more than this carnation.
Yes, it really is, isn't it? To recognize that we are a part of the greater whole, and, to have that profound experience when you're so young at 5. So I want to make sure I have this straight. So you had that experience and you have been able to remember it in great detail all the way through your life then. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. I've remembered it every single day. I didn't think that it was a big deal as a child. I thought, much like you see psychics and intuitives, they say the same thing. They think, oh, everyone's a psychic, everyone's an intuitive. Well, it's true that everyone has, intuitive capabilities. Not everyone can play the piano like Mozart and Beethoven, in terms of their gifts or their heightened psychic awareness. And so, for me, I didn't think that having a near-death experience was that special. It wasn't until I was in my teens, when my mentor and my aunt gave me a couple of books, one of which had a book, by Betty Adie, who wrote the book Embraced by the Light, I believe, in the 80s or 90s. It was a real groundbreaking, pioneering book for near-death experiencers and the near-death experience phenomenon itself. And to me, that provided me a diagnosis of what I had, because what I had I just thought was a cool, profound, mystical experience, but I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think that anyone would make anything of it. So I just thought, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was normal for you.
It was normal. It was normal.
Yeah. So when you came back and back into your physical body, what happened then? Did you tell your mother about it? Did she tell you what had happened? Could you, as people always say, they could see their body lying there. Could you see your physical body lying there? So what happened when you returned?
Oh, yes, absolutely. When I returned, I wasn't able for many years, almost until my teens, to develop a vocabulary for what I had. It was suppressed and repressed, for me, where I had a knowing of it, but I wasn't able to develop words or, the ability to commune about what occurred to me. A, because I didn't think anyone would understand. I thought they would think I was crazy, but B, it was just so profound that any spoken word would be unjust with what I had, and it would just almost undermine the profound mystical experience. And so, for myself, it took me a long time, and I was probably, after that experience as a young boy, from having all that neurological trauma that occurred from suffocation and my brain shutting down, I had a lot of, intuitive capabilities, because I do believe the brain is just merely a filter between the two worlds. And for me, my brain shut down, I was able to really tap into that world a lot more easier than this one. And so I had to relearn from a young age how to be in this world, because I had no choice. It was either I was going to make it, or I wasn't. And so I had to retrain myself to be, in my body, in my brain a bit more. And I was really able to do that, but it took time.
Oh, yeah. And that makes total sense, and I did read about somebody once who had a near-death experience, and it's kind of similar to what you're saying of just, you have that experience, it's inside, it's a part of you, and to try to describe it doesn't really do it justice, and doesn't really, the words can't do it. They just can't do it. Now, I do want to ask you this, because as a medium myself, I've had so many people ask me, what do the spirits do on the other side? What's happening over there? What does it look like? That kind of thing. Did you experience anything along those lines that you could share with people?
What I'll say is, on the other side, there are many levels. And the level that I really, was attuning to was just the level of pure God, Christ consciousness, of pure light. And so I think a lot of other levels have, geological contours, and a lot of, it's just almost kind of like a magnified experience on the earth plane. But to me, when I was with my family, it was just pure light and pure soul connection and pure consciousness, and they were just in a beautiful golden light. In terms of tasks, in terms of assignments, in terms of all these other things, the plane that I connected to, they weren't doing that. I have to be honest. I know many other people have different experiences, but from my understand, there are many levels on the other side, and I do think, in a way, this is just my my gut feeling is the higher you go, the less earthly qualities that it possesses, if that makes sense. I don't know if that resonates, but again, that's just my best honest truth. So
sure. That makes sense, because I've heard so many people, some of my mediumship teachers and some other people, spiritual teachers, talk about when somebody passes over, they're exactly the same way as they were here. And that's not my belief system so much. I believe they show us how they were here. But my feeling is, if you're crossing over to the other side and you had that experience, the God energy, the light and the love, that you are kind of returning back to the essence of who you are, your soul there. And I think sometimes as humans, we put limitations on what we think the other side is based on our limited experiences.
Right.
So we think they must have to do this and this and this before, and maybe they do and maybe they don't. We don't really know until we get over there ourselves. So it is kind of interesting to talk to somebody who's had a little bit of time over there and got to experience that love. Now, tell me this. When you finally started to process this, and I know now your life is all about helping people, being there for them in different capacities as a speaker and as a counselor and as a Reiki practitioner, all these things that you do. They're here to help. And so how did this near-death experience affect your choices? How did it lead you onto this path?
You know, from a young age, I was always much more tuned to the inner world than the outer world. You know, I had the most profound experience at a young age, and everything else seemed to, kind of pale into comparison. And so from a young age, I was on a quest to really always connect to this light, be a part of this light. And my mission in my life is to really gravitate to that light as much as I can and allow others to understand that this is not something that I am connected to and just me, that we're all a part of, that we all have. And so I think my greatest mission is to give people a taste as to what I and many other NDEers have, and recognizing that each moment is an opportunity to connect to the infinity, all that you're a part of. And I think just finding ways to be more balanced in your spirit and your human body really leads to an amplified experience. And so, from a young age, I was always very interested in many paths up to the mountain to allow people to experience their unlimited capabilities as truly unencumbered spirits in a finite body, physical body, and finding ways to integrate the two. Because I think if you're able to do that, your eternity will be that much different. I know in ancient Egyptian mythology, they talk about that all the time, where every moment is a preparation for death and getting your heart as light as it possibly can be. And I can attest that your life is not random. Everything has causality and effect. Everything that you do has an impact not only on this lifetime, but on your eternity. And so for me, I wake up every day trying to make the most of my day and trying to allow others to have insight on that, because I recognize when you meditate on eternity, what that means. You recognize that every moment is a sacred building block to your own eternal home that you're cultivating at every given moment in time. And so that's, my biggest passion, I would say.
Yes, and that's so true. And, trying to get back to that light, that love energy. And so many times for us here in the physical, we're born as the baby and we may remember the other side, but as time goes on, life situations come in, kind of weigh us down a little bit. And then it seems for so much of us, so many of us, that we reach a certain age or something happens in our lives where we start peeling back those layers of crap that have come into our lives. We peel them back because we want to get back to that light again. And you mentioned before about the oneness and how we are all part of a whole.
Sure.
And this time that we are living in now with this huge consciousness shift that's happening, we're living in a time where people are very separated from each other. They don't recognize that they are a part of the whole. So many people don't recognize that in that wholeness is also that light. And that's where they're going to feel the best. And it's pretty cool that you're out there trying to help that. And we're both doing kind of the same thing from different angles. So I love that. And is there something in particular that you tell people or try to get them to understand about getting back to the light and getting back to that love and being in that presence?
I think the quickest way to access that is meditation, as simple as it goes. But what separates spirituality and religion is to not take one's word as final gospel. You first have to experience it for yourself and for it to be almost anything. And so I think it's very empowering in that regard. And so, I think for individuals interested, you're not meant to have anything when it's not meant to be. You could try every different type of meditation, but you're not meant to have that energetic ascension at that given moment in time. It's not going to happen. But I would say letting go of results and just have a persistent practice, persistence of mind. It's a couple of days, meditating or just finding ways to pay attention to your thoughts and the energy that you're around, the food that you're around. You recognize that you may have a shift in your own what we would like to say vibrational frequency, but in your own overall energy and state. And I think when you're able to do that, you're able to really amplify your life, and experiences will come from that. Just shortly at it, when I was in college, I never expected myself to have anything like this own near-death experience. And in college, I started beginning a meditation practice, and one day I woke up and I was out of my body, and that led to a profound enlightenment when I really was actually able to access the silver cord and the oneness that we're all a part of. And it wasn't something written in a book. And so for me, that had such a profound awakening, and also understanding as to the clients that I work with, where it's nice to read something in the book. You need that on an analytical basis, but the ultimate is the experience. And I think we all have access to this in our own different ways.
Oh, yes. And, meditation is interesting because years ago, when I was first starting on my spiritual path, people would say, meditate. And I'm like, well, how do you meditate? And well, just empty your mind. Well, and as we know, you can't do that. So I started teaching meditation classes as well to help people, give them some kind of structure as to how to meditate. And there's a million different ways to meditate. But I found one of the most simple ones for me is just to literally count my breaths, because I have one of those brains that goes crazy in my head. So I have to calm my brain down. So I just count my breaths. Do you have a favorite meditation technique that you use?
You make a great point where everyone has a different energy. Everyone gravitates to a different element, whether that be air, earth, fire, water, ether. So I think it's finding out your energy, your primary kind of element, and working with that. Normally, let's say if you're a fire sign, okay, you tend to have a lot, or if you're an air sign, you tend to have a lot of buildup of fire energy in your head, where you could become almost like a hothead from excess thought or excess emotion, and so finding ways to bring a lot of that energy down, into your core would allow you to have a fire in the belly, right? And not cold feet, or, all those, types of euphemisms and sayings. And so I think for something to stick, you first have to know your engine, much like a car is diesel, gas, or regular, I think finding your own, fuel. But there's so many different paths up the mountain. But I think the biggest thing is to not put a pedestal on it. Because I think when people say, oh, I need to do 30 minutes a day to do it, well, then you already set yourself up for failure, because part of the meditation is just allowing life and moments to speak to you rather than enforcing your own will on it. So it's a combination of patience, self-compassion, and just consistency of mind and practice that will lead to results. But I think the biggest thing is to disattach from judgment or results.
Yes. And so are you saying then that meditation would be your big tip that you would tell people to help them create a better life? Is that your big tip?
Yes, and under meditation, I would put an asterisk that there's so many different kinds, and find something that sticks with you. And the umbrella of meditation is huge. You could even do walking meditation. You could do Reiki self-healing positions, where that creates a great biofeedback type situation where you're aware of stress that's built up in any part of your body. And just as the mind puts it into that area, it could also remove it through the exhalation. And so any moment could be a moment of prayer, and any moment could be a moment of meditation. In a way, whether that's in your waking state or when you sit in a chair and do it. It's all an opportunity for you to just observe what's happening and connect to your AOB, awareness of breath, awareness of body.
Yes, and people shouldn't judge themselves, feeling I'm not doing it right. I need to do it this way, because we all have our own experiences. And so whatever works for them is the right thing to do. I found that if I don't meditate every day, I start to lose it. I feel like I'm going to go crazy. So I have to meditate every day. Yeah. And I've been teaching some groups, and I've been showing them the different methods and techniques. And it's just, even if you commit to 3 minutes. I used to do a 1-minute meditation with my workshop people. So we're just going to do 1 minute, and they'd be surprised at how much better they felt at the end of 1 minute. So if people can't, they feel overwhelmed just by the thought of it, just do 1 minute of counting your breaths, and that's it. And it's perfect. Right. It's absolutely perfect. Now, we only have 90 seconds left. Okay. So I do want to tell everyone this is Jake Cooper, and you can find him at jacoblcooper.com. And I do want to thank you so much for being here, Jake. It's been great to have you and have all of this information. So if you want to learn more about Jake and what he does, just go to his website and you will see everything there that you want to know. He does work with people privately, and he does speak all over the country, and he does mindfulness classes and all sorts of things. It's truly a wonderful thing. We're all about here on A1R Psychic Radio. We're all about helping people and bringing more love and light into the world. And it's been such a pleasure to have Jake here with us today, talking about everything that he wants to talk about. So Jake, do you have a last second anything you want to say for the last second?
Yes, absolutely. If anyone is interested in hearing my own near-death experience at more further lengths, you could look me up at YouTube. And so I thank all listeners for tuning in, and hopefully this could provide another evidential angle that consciousness survives after the physical death, that we are indeed eternal beings in a finite body. And I think just finding ways to remember that, and, when in doubt, go within, and you are ever more loved and ever more protected than ever imagined. So I thank all our listeners.
Okay. So thank you so much, Jake. It was so nice having you here, and we will have to have you come back again another time. So everybody, thank you for listening. This was Creating an Inspired Life, and you can find me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and I would love to hear from you. You have a great day, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
The Ask One Radio Network.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Spirited Messages with Tatum Streeter. Live from TatumStreeter.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Spirited Messages
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
I'm so happy to be back here with you guys, and I'm hoping that you all had an amazing Thanksgiving and time to just kind of rest and relax, because I know that this time of year gets really crazy busy, lots of obligation, lots of things to do. So I'm hoping that you guys all had a nice time with family, friends, or just able to relax. I did want to point out again, I know you guys are probably like, why does she keep talking about this? We're still in Mercury retrograde, so I'm going to keep talking about it until we're not, because it's super affected me and my family, and I'm sure that it's probably affecting you guys. I've actually had I had a good friend of mine message me the other day and say, oh my God, what's going on? Are we in retrograde? We absolutely are. We are actually in Mercury retrograde until the 6th. So in case you happen to not know, we have been in that since the 16th. So once again, it's in Sagittarius, and being in Sagittarius is all about the fire sign. It's all about letting that frustration, maybe some underlying anger issues kind of come out. And sometimes they can come out and be a little bit sharp. So I'm just kind of asking you to remember, when you're in the moment, if someone's doing that to you, or if you happen to see yourself doing it, take a step back, let it come out because it needs to come out, but be kind. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I did pull some cards today, and it was really funny. They keep telling me I need to share these with you because it's probably going to resonate. So I'm going to kind of share those before we jump into some of our messages that people had sent in. The first card that I drew, I'll put them both up here. It's the Two of Pentacles reversed, and then, how funny, Two of Swords. So the first part, I'll talk about the two in just a second, but the first part, this Two of Pentacles reversed, is all about being overcommitted, over-obligated, things kind of going on, our energy being stretched in too many different ways, and kind of a sign that we need to take a minute and reprioritize. There's something with that we need to look at and redo. The second one, this Two of Swords, there we go, you can see it. This Two of Swords is all about a decision, needing to make a decision, and basically dragging our feet. So you have a couple of different options, but in order to kind of make our energy not drug all over the place, we need to make a decision that's going to align for our greatest and highest good. And now we'll talk about those twos. So you're probably like, why is the 2 so important? Well, the 2 is a highly, highly spiritual number. It has to do with intuition, manifestation, courage. So that's the way I took it, and that's what Spirit had mentioned to me this morning, is that essentially your energy is getting pulled in a lot of different ways, and it's time to make a decision and be courageous about that decision. It's almost like one of those, we kind of leap and find it on the way down things. So if there's something that you're kind of feeling that you're holding on to and it's pulling your energy, make sure you look and see if that really works for you, because I have a feeling you're going to need to make a decision to let that kind of go and see what comes in the next chapter. Okay. So as last week, probably like a lot of different weeks, I've had a ton of people send me information. I've gotten some stuff off of Instagram and Facebook. So we're going to look at their questions first. And if we have time, I'll pull some cards for the upcoming week. So first, I want to start with Pam. Pam wants to know, will I be okay? And absolutely 100% you will be okay. And that's not just me being a medium and psychic and everything. I know that for a fact. We all have ebb and flow. For whatever reason, right now, they're making me feel, and Pam, you have a male that's around you that's guiding you, just to let you know. I know you don't always feel this person, but there is a male, feels like it's connected on father's side, that's coming through and kind of helping guide you. They keep talking about the last 2 years, roughly 2 years, like making me feel like there's been a lot weighing on you. And they also are showing me something medical. So if you're having some type of a medical issue, make sure you see a doctor. But will things be okay? Absolutely. there's something about April too, and you have a decision that you need to make. Feels something about movement within you, where you need to go, what you need to be doing for yourself, because I kind of feel like you're not really settled anywhere, and you have that waiting for the other shoe to drop feeling, like what's the next thing that's going to happen that I need to prepare myself for. We need to get you out of that mind frame, out of thinking that, because it's not serving you. Okay, it's almost like we're attracting that, and we don't want that. So please make sure that you're trying to find the positive in there. And if there's the health issue, they're pointing to your chest, this man is. He keeps pointing there. So if you're finding that you're having a health issue, make sure you go see a medical professional. Deborah wanted to know, will my ex and I fix things before the baby comes in June? Yes and no. Let's start with the positive, because I always like to lead with the positive. Yes, you will fix things. Almost finding a new normal. I feel like he's got a lot of fear, and there's a lot of hurt going back and forth. Like, I think he feels hurt for one reason, but you also feel hurt for a different reason, and nobody's really communicating on that hurt. I feel like there have been some I'm sorries or whatnot, but it just makes me feel like it's not hitting down into the heart yet. I think you're going to find the new normal, but do I think you're going to reconcile? Honestly, I don't think so. I think you guys are going to be able to co-parent. They're telling me I need to pull a card for you. So let's pull one of these cards. I think you guys are going to be able to co-parent and kind of coexist in a positive relationship and almost kind of be friends. Whereas right now, I don't feel like there's a lot of talking that's going on. Here we go. Popped right out. So this is what's blocking us right now. We have the blame card. So kind of when we said that there's some hurt there's hurt on both sides. We really need to stop pointing the finger. We really need to just kind of accept our responsibility for whatever happened and whatever our role is, and decide that we're going to co-parent and move forward. But the baby is going to help. He's got some fear around that baby too. I don't know if he has other kids or just a fear of children in general. I don't know why he has such a fear, because I think he's going to be a really good dad. He needs some time to kind of let everything kind of sink in. The next question I got came from Instagram from Gilded Crow Designs. Will we still be together this time next year? Yes. Why do I feel like things have been really rocky, up and down, up and down? But yeah, you guys are going to work through it. And they're pointing me back into the past since last June. So I don't know what happened in June last year, but they're pointing me into the past, and we have some unresolved issues there. Like, there's some heart ties that are kind of a little bit hurt that we need to address, because there's something there that it's kind of boiling underneath the surface. So will you still be together? Yes, I feel like you will. But in order to kind of move forward with this relationship in a positive direction, we really need to figure out where we're going and letting go of some of the stuff from the past. Jay McCullough, I loved this question. Just by the way, it was probably one of my favorite questions I got. Can a medium who has stopped working with their gifts regain them and be able to use them again? Absolutely, 100%. And I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of detail on this, because I think it's really relevant and really important. So anybody who has highly spiritual gifts in this life, and we are all intuitive. Let me just put that out there first. We are all intuitive. We all have the ability to open up. It's just some people's ability to open up is a little bit harder based on the lessons that they are still struggling to learn. But if you have this highly spiritual gift, chances are you've had it in a past life. And it's very, very important that you still have it come out in this life, because if not, it's almost like we retract a little bit. You're given this gift in order to kind of let everything flourish and help other people. That's why you're here in one way, shape, or form. And it doesn't mean you need to do it as a profession. It doesn't mean you need to spend a ton of time doing it. Your soul is calling for it. It's very, very important that your soul kind of be recognized for that work, because it is showing your evolution. So can a medium who stopped working with their gifts gain them back? Absolutely. How do you do that? I would first start with meditation. I feel like you're really good at tapping in with your guides. I feel like they respond really well to you, but there's some kind of a fear. There's a block there that's kind of making it so you're not seeing everything. And it feels like it's connected to judgment to me, honestly. Like, almost like we're afraid of what people will think. Are we good enough? You're absolutely 100% good enough. You were not given this gift for no reason. Remember, you're here to help people. So we need to look at that belief system as to why you're feeling not good enough, or why we're repressing it, because it's there. There's a fear of judgment, fear connected to that. And as soon as we break that, it'll be so easy for you to kind of come out and flourish. But I would recommend meditation, just kind of tapping in, getting yourself daily grounded and listening to your guides first. Because once you start listening to your guides and kind of only channeling with them in the beginning, then you can kind of learn to kind of start letting people in. But it almost makes me feel like there's a boundary issue here as well. It's kind of what I'm hearing. And I know I struggled with that for a number of years. Basically, where you want to have some kind of a life too, right? Like you want to be able to do the things that you want to do and not always have your life be about work or talking to people who crossed over. And so that's where you have to kind of really put your boundaries up with the people on the other side. If you don't want them waking you up in the middle of the night, which I know they used to do to me, then you need to kind of put down firm boundaries with them and let them know that you'll talk to them at another time. But this is not the appropriate time. I've also kind of quarantined off different areas of my house, so they're not allowed to come in my bedroom anymore because I don't want to be woken up. I mean, I don't know very many people who want to be woken up at 2:00 in the morning just to chat. So I would suggest kind of grounding your bedroom, your space with some black tourmaline or whatever room you want to have as your own. That way you can kind of have a little safe space where you don't feel so overwhelmed. If you have any additional questions with that, let me know. I know it's kind of a broad topic. There's a lot there, but I hope that's enough to kind of get you started. Jason, how do I get rid of the negative energy that has come over me and is currently blocking me? So, and he had also mentioned in this email he sent me that he has been saging his house. So obviously that's one of the first things I suggest is obviously sage yourself, sage your home, sage your space, your car, whatever. Saging is not just simply to remove evil spirits, or so to speak, or people who are a little bit grumpy, who don't want to pass. It's also about removing negative energy and just stale energy, right? I mean, any kind of energy that you don't want there, you want to have a quick pick-me-up, sage your house or your car, your office space, wherever. But I really want to look at the belief system, and you'll hear me, I'm really big into belief systems because that's what they attach to. So you feel like you have negative energy that's coming over you and blocking you. I'm going to first tell you that there's nobody and nothing that can block you but yourself. So for whatever reason, it makes me feel like we're connecting not only just to work, but we're also connecting to personal life as well. Like you almost feel a little bit stuck and you're feeling a little bit stagnant. So first, I want to tell you, Jason, that I can feel your light. You have very, very, very bright light. I feel like you know that. And so that's one of the things that attracts energy of all kind, positive and negative, to you. So once again, I'm going to tell you that you need to ground and ground daily. I ground in the morning and I also ground at night. And I clear out my energy twice a day as well, because you don't even realize how much energy you're coming into contact with, even when you're walking down the street or going to the grocery store. So you need to ground yourself. You need to kind of put up a protective bubble around yourself, envision yourself with white light, however you need to kind of put it up your protection, because that's what's going to help keep that energy off of you. But like I said earlier, the reason why they're attaching has a lot to do with the belief systems. And they're attaching to your root, but they're also attaching to your sacral, because I can feel them in two different areas. Not sacral, solar plexus. And the solar plexus is all about confidence, personal confidence, feeling powerful in your own life. And there's something there that it makes me feel like you're not feeling powerful in your own life, almost like you're existing instead of being that powerful creator. So you need to reaffirm to yourself that you really are that powerful creator, and where you are and where you see yourself within your life. But also to the root, it makes me feel like they're attaching over, they're saying that they're attaching within like a fear, like a financial fear. And so when we feel like we're in that cycle of lack, when we tend to end up getting more of that, we need you to understand that it's okay. It's fine to ground to the universe, that it's safe, that you're okay. It's only attaching a little bit to your throat with self-expression, because you tend to hold things in and then explode. So make sure you are kind of clearing yourself and looking at those different belief systems of why you're maybe not expressing things the way you need to during the time, and kind of letting them out, why you don't feel powerful, because you are a powerful creator. You are a light worker, hands down, because I can feel your energy. And also why you have this underlying like survival instinct fear going on there, because there's something there that needs to be addressed and removed. I'm going to skip this next one because I want to save it for the end. But I'm going to move on to Cheryl. Will I find the right person who loves me the way that I love? Yes, you will. I keep feeling like you're settling. Ever since you sent me this message, I feel like you are settling for less than what you deserve, and this is a pattern for you. So you need to recognize that. I feel like things start off really good, but then they gradually go downhill. And I feel like you're a giver. And I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately. Typically, when there are a lot of givers and when you're a giver, we tend to attract people to help us with the lesson of being balanced. And so sometimes we attract takers. So there's something about your relationship. It's not equal. It's not one-on-one. It's kind of more like a kid on a teeter-totter, one up high and one low. So we really need to look at that, what you're attracting and what you're kind of putting out there. I also kind of feel like you're worried about, like you have like a clock. I keep hearing a clock ticking, tick, 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 tick. Like you're worried that your time is running short for something. Just know that you are on your own time. You're not on anyone else's time. Don't compare yourself to your chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 20. That's not how this works. You're here to learn different lessons. And I don't know if you're still in this relationship because there's something here that feels very still connected. But there's some past issues that need to be resolved if you're still in this relationship. If you've recently broken up or if you're broken up, there's something there where the heart ties are still attached. So I'm asking you to go back through and see why you're still attached there. Almost like we have this great hurt that kind of sat in there for a while, and it's kind of changed how you deal with people, where we kind of put that guard up. So I'm asking you to kind of go in and look at that. But absolutely, if you start doing some of this work, they keep telling me spring of next year. So whether you're in a relationship now and things kind of change, or you're attracting a new one, but we want you to attract a better quality person for you. Okay. That's really important. Lynn, what is blocking me in my life right now? I get a lot of what's blocking me. So once again, I'm going to tell you that there's really nothing that blocks you except for you. The more you affirm that you're stuck, the more you're going to be stuck. Okay. So I don't want you to feel stuck in life, but I want you to realize that I know you feel like you're running in place, because that's kind of what I'm feeling. And you feel like opportunities are passing you by, like other people are getting the opportunities, whether that's in a relationship or that's at work. It kind of feels like it's a little bit of both, where you're kind of comparing and looking at other people. So we really need you to look at if something doesn't happen for you, if that door doesn't open, it's not your door. And I know that's so easy to say. And how many times has that happened even in my own life? And I find myself being so frustrated. Surrender it up to the universe and say, okay, it's not right. Please continue to send me the signs for the right one. Because I feel like the universe is trying to send you, at least when it comes to work, they're trying to send you signs. Because I'm feeling like you need to move on from work. There's something about work that they keep chirping in my ear about work. You need to do something different. You need to move on from whatever you're doing. I don't know if it's just the place or the thing in general, the actual occupation, but there's something that you need to do more of. And they really want you to look at what's being sent to you. And even though it might look different, the universe sends us different signs and different doors all the time. And sometimes when we don't realize what those doors are, we get them, they're open, and then we say, that's not what I really wanted. It doesn't look like what I wanted. So we close it. And so the universe says, hey, wait a minute. You asked for this sign. I gave it to you, but you didn't respond. Okay. So start paying attention to those signs. Also, Lynn, I just want to let you know, you have male energy around you, and it feels like it's connected with your house. So it doesn't feel like it's, a family member of yours. It feels like there's like residual energy, either from something you maybe picked up at a garage sale that's in your house, or it was there prior to it. It feels like I'm in a large room, like a family sitting room that overlooks a dining room. Okay. Like I feel like I'm sitting here, and I feel like there's a dining room over on this area. So you might want to cleanse that, because this gentleman is very attached to you. And for whatever reason, he keeps telling me, and I'm hearing that he's also a source of some of that stagnant energy. So he's feeding off of your energy. Lisa, I just put in a proposal for selling my cupcakes. Will this help us in our financial situation, and will we get the contract for what we're asking? So, my dear Lisa, I know you know this, and I know that this is simply just a little bit of fear and doubt in the back of your head. But right now, I want you to not even think about the possibility of it not going your way. Okay? I feel like it is, but I keep hearing you need to diversify. Like you're always putting all of your eggs in one basket. So I want you to kind of look at the different areas. And I know you're in a small area because you and I have talked about this before. So I know that it's going to be a little bit harder to branch out, but for whatever reason, don't put all your eggs in one basket with one contract. Go out and do several different contracts because your name is getting out there already, but you're going to explode. I'm hearing March, April next year. March is big for a lot of people next year. So that wave of energy is really coming, but don't even think for a second that you're not going to get what you want. Send it out to the universe that you're going to get everything that you want and then some, okay? Because it is going to help your financial situation. But once again, kind of you relate to this message too that I put out this morning about your energy being pulled in a lot of different directions. So I kind of feel like your energy is being pulled toward family. I feel like there's something to do with health, not only just for you, but a family member feels like a male. So I'm not sure if this is a son or if this is a husband. But also, you got to have a lot of different business stuff going on right now. And you really need to figure out what your focus is. I feel like the cupcakes are the easiest way for you to make money quickly, but I feel like you need to be working on your other business, that connects with your soul, okay? Because you're meant to do this and you're developing so much and so quickly, and I think that's what March and April are all about. So I want you to look at that too, but absolutely, I feel like your cupcakes are going to do well, but I want you to diversify. I want you to put yourself out there, okay? Lori, what suggestions do you have to connect with loved ones during the holidays? So not just even during the holidays, we tend to think of them more because they're not here and we miss them. And it's very hard, but always, I'm going to give you a couple of different things. So Lori, I'm going to tell you right away, your mom is around you and is around you a lot. Your brother feels like he's kind of like the laid back practical joker. Okay. There's something about him and his energy. Like I hear him laughing in my ear right now. And I feel like he's showing me a picture that I've seen before. So I'm sure that you've posted something that I've seen at some point about him, but he has the biggest smile and the brightest eyes. So I'm just kind of letting you know he still looks that way, but know that mom is around and kind of helping guide you. She's I keep hearing how proud she is. Like she's just kind of beaming with pride of the person you've become, the compassionate heart that you have, and how you mother your children. She's so proud. So take that as something good coming from her right now. But you want to know how you can connect with them. So first things first, release expectations, because I feel like we always think that we're going to have this grand moment where they show up and we see a full apparition. And that doesn't always happen. And sometimes it doesn't even happen for me. I hear them or I feel them, but I've kind of learned how to distinguish, right? So we need to kind of get rid of the expectation, because the more we put the expectation out there of, I want you to show up in a dream, or I want you to show up at the end of my bed, or I want this. And when it doesn't happen, we get disappointed. So it's a block. Okay. So I want you to release that, but keep putting out put the energy out into the universe that, Mom, I really want a message from you, or Dad, or even your brother, because they're all trying to give you messages. Also, your brother spends a lot of time around, I keep hearing around Scott. So I'm going to assume that's your son, Scott, because that's how he's making me feel. There's something the two of them kind of connect over. So there's something important there between them, but keep asking for the signs, and realize that if you see a bunch of different dimes or pennies or feathers, take that as a sign. Everybody's signs are a little bit different. Somebody's knocking on the wall, because I keep hearing that. So somebody's doing like a little knock, and it's like 4 times in your house. And I feel like you don't know who that is, and it feels like it's connected to a male, and I'm going to go with Dad. It's like a soft knock, just FYI. And I feel like people aren't even really noticing it, or they're kind of blowing it off. So like I said earlier, every sign is a little bit different, but in order to just kind of open up your own intuitive ability, start with grounding yourself every day, do some meditation, and ask your guides to come forward, because when we tap in with our guides first, we're kind of showing that connection with them, and they kind of help bring other people in. Okay. So do that, but ask them for signs. Your mom's writing something too. Like she feels like she's writing something. So I don't know if you're going to find a letter from her, or looking over old pictures, old books with her writing in it, but there's something about her writing that she keeps showing me. So that's also significant and something that she's trying to kind of convey over to you. Okay. But if you have any other questions, let me know. But once again, don't go into that expectation and then have disappointment, because that blocks you. Grief blocks you. Disappointment blocks you. Be open to whatever sign the universe gives, and you can talk to them all the time. I still talk to my grandparents all the time. I have several other loved ones who passed. I talk to them all the time. People may think I'm a little nuts, but they talk back to me, so it's okay. Then I have Lori. What do I mean to Max? And Lori, I absolutely feel the pain that you're going through right now. I have been able to feel it for about a week now because I know you've been on my page quite a bit lately. I feel like your heart feels like it's still kind of crushed, and I know you're missing her. It's funny because she's still here and she's trying to support you and she's trying to provide you with that love that you're looking for. Where you feel empty, she's trying to fill you up on the other side. It's funny because I feel like you're hearing things that don't make sense with her and your relationship. Don't trust the things that you're hearing. Trust the relationship that you guys had. But she is also trying to support you and help move you into a better place because she knows that you're really struggling with this. And it makes me feel like you have some depression going on right now. So she's there and she's really trying to support you right now during this time and be with you. So know that she's here. Even if you can't always feel her, she keeps telling me that you haven't been feeling her as much as what you used to. Don't worry. Okay. Because she's still here. The last question that I got was a super interesting question. I tapped into my guides to kind of get some of this because I thought it was really interesting. I've never actually seen it before. So I had Muskan send me a picture to my Facebook Messenger, and I can kind of describe it because I don't have it up, but it is this picture of this doll, and it's not like a baby doll or anything like that. It's a cloth doll. It has no face. You would probably think it looks something like a little bit of a voodoo doll. And she told me that it was found in her home. Of course, I kept hearing that it was found over her door. So I asked, and it was found up over the door. And so what this is and why this is important is these are basically like spirit dolls. And so what they are supposed to do is they're supposed to ward off evil. And so when this house was built or when this owner moved into this house, they put this doll above the door so that way there would be no negative energy that could enter, because essentially this doll is in the figure of a human. And so what this is meant to do is when you place it over the wall or over the door, it's meant to absorb all of that negative energy that gets thrown at you. So essentially, that's what that doll is. There's a ton of energy in this doll. It feels like female. And what I'm hearing, I feel like you want to know what to do with it. Do I put it back? Do I get rid of it? What do I do? The first thing I kept hearing is do not destroy this doll. There's something about this doll that we need to keep intact. So if you don't want it in your house, if it scares you a little bit with all that negative energy in there, you can always cleanse it and put it back. It does need to stay with the house though, I'm hearing. So if you put it in your backyard, you can bury it, I'm hearing, but don't destroy it because you release all that energy. You can put it back, you can cleanse it, you can put it in the backyard, do whatever you need to do, but know that it's there as a protection tool, not as something scary. We have a few minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and pull a few cards for what we're expecting for this week. And kind of just some different belief systems that we're looking at. And this week, the energy hasn't been nearly as intense as it was last week, but I feel like people are feeling tired. I feel like people are feeling like they have a lot on their plate right now. And so they're kind of showing me that we need to look at these different belief systems and what's kind of coming ahead. Okay. Interesting. We got the blame card, which I'm not surprised that this came out only because of what's kind of happening right now within Mercury retrograde. We're releasing a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and it's so easy. Remember I said earlier that we need to make sure that you are releasing things in a positive, constructive way. Don't do it in a blaming way, because then you're kind of creating more karma for yourself. Adversity. So it feels like there's been a lot of ups and downs in this last week. That, like I said, the energy is not nearly as intense as last week, but there's just something there that's pretty important. And the ups and downs. So don't get so caught up with the downs and things that are happening. Remember, we're releasing things through Mercury retrograde. We are releasing what no longer serves us. So we really need to kind of look at that.
A1R, the S1 Radio Network.
A1R Psychic, Metaphysical and Wellness Radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for New York City Celebrity Psychic with Perry Lyons. Perry Lyons. Live from PerryLyonsBrilliance.Wixsite.com/Perry Lyons. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.TV. This is New York City Celebrity Psychic on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hey! We're doing a little Christmassy thing here today. So we've got the sort of, I don't know, Christmas flapper. I don't know what that's about. But welcome. And if you see this dress, sort of putting the ho into ho, ho, ho. So welcome. And Christmas is traditionally time for ghost stories and mystic and magic kind of. It's a time when people experience a feeling of mystery, but in Christmas, it's a very benevolent feeling of mystery. But traditionally in England for years and years and years, people always told ghost stories after Christmas dinner. And I mean, even our best Christmas movies, like It's a Wonderful Life, and are mystical and kind of ghosty. So that's, before we started today, one thing I wanted to talk about a bit was, I'm always getting people saying, how do you be psychic? Sometimes they're more grammatical than that, but how can I be psychic, they say. And one thing that I like to say to them is, you already are. I mean, some people are more than others. It's like having a gift for music or being able to write song, but you can learn how to be psychic or how to be at least intuitive. And here's one way you can do that. Listen. Most people, when we're in a conversation with somebody, we are waiting for the other person to stop talking so we can talk. And often we're just rehearsing in our mind. I'm sorry, my iPad seems to be possessed by Christmas pixies today, so hold on. There we go. That's so funny. There we go. So, Liz, when we start to consciously learn to listen to other people, it has this amazing effect. We can, if we really listen to somebody else, as we're listening, if we think of them, that's an odd picture. Okay, if we think of them as, in every sentence they tell us, if we think of them as being about to tell us something that is one of the most important things we'll ever hear. No, sorry, my iPad's going a little haywire. I'm not touching anything. That's so strange. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. How's that? Better? I'm sorry, if anybody out there would like to send me a new iPad, I'd be very grateful. Okay. But we're just going to switch to the phone. Hold on one second. There we go. Very interesting. There we go. How's that? Yes? Okay, anyway, if we listen to other people, we start to get interesting. We start to learn how to listen to ourselves, which is how you become psychic. You trust that first thought. I'm going to go to the phone, Dave. It's a psychic thing. Every time we do the show, the more psychic I get, the more my equipment goes haywire. Okay, how's that? Good? All right. Anybody out there who's able to do it, if you want to help me get a new iPad, I'll give you free readings for the next year. Okay, how's that? I'm so sorry about this. Anyway, why do we do this? Well, so frustrating. Okay. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Feel free to buy me a new iPad, and we're going to be taking our first caller today. Again, before we start, I just want to reassure all of our callers that if you feel like your whole life depends on getting this person back, or your whole life depends on getting this job. Remember, there's a bigger plan out there for you. I know for me, the person who broke my heart the worst, I would not have back if he came with the rolls, a pony, and a really nice Vuitton bag. So sometimes the stuff that seems like, oh my God, I'm not going to live through this, turns out to be you dodging a bullet of monumental proportions. So just throwing that out there. Okay, who have we got today? Dave? How are we doing there? All right, tell you what. Today, I went to the this hotel in New York City, and I saw an old friend of mine who's a rock star named Courtney Love, and we've been friends for 10 years. And here's something people don't know about Courtney, is she's really, really smart and very sane. So that was a really nice, reuniting with old friends at Christmas is really great. And Courtney and I met at a party in LA about 10 years ago. It was a party with Steven Spielberg and all these other people at it for my then fiance. And we were jammed up against each other's backs. We didn't know each other. And out of the blue, this is a party in LA, the single most ahistorical city ever. She taps me in the shoulder. I didn't know who it was. And I turn around and she says, "You'll know this. 19th century poet. He wanted to be Shelley. He took arsenic in an attic and died at 18. I said, "Oh, Thomas Chatterton, 1824. She's like, "Right, Chatterton," and turned back around. It was one of those moments that makes you think life is both weirder and a lot more fun than I ever suspected. Anyway, so who's our first caller? Hi, hon. Who we got here?
This is Lindsay.
Hello, darling. How are you? What's your name?
Lindsay.
Oh, I love that name. Very elegant.
Lindsay. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's true, too. So, Lindsay, would you, first, what I'd like you to do is tell me your birthday, please.
April 9th, 1986.
Cool. Just for future reference, you never have to tell me the year because I will never tell you my year.
Oh.
But, that's great. We like Aries women. And, okay, so it feels like you have a very specific question. It does feel like kind of a romance question. In fact, it feels like a lot of a romance question. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see where you would be confused about this guy because he is hot and cold and medium.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, when he is good, he is very, very good. And when he is bad, he is horrid. But he is so charming. And I'm not like wondering if he's a split personality. I actually don't think he's a Gemini, which would be my first guess. Is he another Aries? Is he a fire sign?
He's a Capricorn sun and a Sagittarius moon. And I think his rising is Libra.
Well, the Libra rising would give him that charm and, I'll be honest, the good looks. That's a nice looking fella. I mean, you're not exactly chopped liver yourself. You're very cute.
Thank you.
But it's funny. He's got a little of that cockiness that, when you travel, there's some countries where the men are sort of the beauties and then some countries where the women are sort of the beauties, but we call them peacock cultures. But there's some, and it's like he's from one of those countries where men have a lot of sort of pride in how they look and they're a little vain and they're sort of peacocky. Is he part Italian? are part, I almost want to say Hungarian or Serbian.
I'm not sure.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. Call me next week because he is Serbian or Hungarian a bit, but that's not important. The problem is that he seems very sincere, but you have this sort of nagging feeling that he's not telling you everything. And just when his actions would lead you to believe that you're going to be taking the next step in the relationship, it's like he vanishes or shapeshifts or like it just goes away for 2 days. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's like playing reach, withdraw with each other. You reach towards him, he withdraws, he reaches towards you. All right, let's see what the cards have to say about this. By the way, thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from?
From Illinois, Central Illinois.
Oh, like Champaign?
Yes.
From there? Yes.
Yes. My biggest question was whether or not I should wait around or walk away.
Well, here's the thing about walking away is waiting around almost never works, but walking away almost always does. Nobody ever got less attractive by being less available. Know what I'm saying? Also,
that's what happens. I walk away and, I get settled and then he comes running back in and it's like, boom, my life is flipped upside down all over again.
Did you say it's your dad all over again?
When he comes back, it flips my life upside down. Every time I try to move on and get comfortable and I start doing well, he's right there.
There are those people. There are like human tornadoes. They come in and they're exciting and they kind of take all of our focus so we don't have to necessarily pay that much attention to the rest of our lives. And by the way, I have experience with those guys, so don't think I'm judging you. What I'm going to ask you is this how you want to spend your life? Because no. And the thing about somebody who brings you into a reach withdraw is eventually you get bored. And when you break up with them, you get over them so much faster than you would ever have thought. I mean, yes, the first 3 days is really difficult, and the first 3 days is like, you're sitting around listening to old Joni Mitchell albums, and then the fourth day you're like, shouldn't I be more heartbroken? What was his name again? So, and the cards are being really specific about this. Now, one interesting thing that's going on with you is you're stepping into a lot of opportunity right now. You're getting a lot of positive attention in other areas. And a lot of times, until our culture changes a little bit more, what happens is we women, and me too, Toots, when we start to get successful and independent, it scares us a little. And we think like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone. So we kind of double down on the guy thing. You don't have to do that. For one thing, you're a badass. For another, you've got some success. What?
I said, thank
you are. Welcome.
I know.
It's true.
I know, and I know like some other things. I just don't know where. I just don't know where to go next.
Well, what's interesting is the first two cards say that you are heading. Your life is great, but the thing, if you want to, what? Your life is going really well. I'm sorry. Or it's about to, you've suddenly got a lot of opportunity opening for you. I think you have some Sagittarius in your chart too, and you've got a lot of first house stuff. So you're kind of in a time when you're really redefining yourself in your own terms. And you've got the Four of Swords, which next week, when some kind listener sends me an iPad or a pony, you'll be able to see that the Four of Swords is the card that's like a knight praying between vigils. It's withdrawing from a battle. It's withdrawing from a battle so you can get grounded. You can get connected to your spirituality. You can take yourself off the battlefield to regain your strength. And that's what the cards are saying. The cards are saying that since this is the obstacle card and it's also the transformation card, it's hard to walk away from a charming, good-looking guy who is very good at certain things. Sorry. A very strong physical component there, too, and that's hard to talk back to. However, this is interesting. Yeah, I don't see him changing, and I also see him, I'm sorry, sweetie, I tend to call them as I see them. I think he's keeping some secrets from you. I'm not saying he's got another girlfriend, but if that was a direction he was headed in, I wouldn't be at all surprised. And you know what? You're a goddess. You want somebody who looks at you and says, this combination of great strength and intelligence, this woman is what I've been looking for all my life. That's what you want. Or that's what I'm telling you you want. And that's what you want sort of secretly. Luckily, I'm sorry, do you have a kid?
And I do have kids. My parents got guardianship of, well, my aunt and uncle got guardianship of them. It was not a very nice situation.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Last 3 years specifically. What?
I am developing, like, I'm learning I have some gifts as well. And, yeah, my family thinks I'm crazy.
Well, I have to say, this is one thing they don't tell us when we're young is that life is a little unexpected and it's not fair. And usually it's usually the sanest person in the family who gets the most grief. Because most families are organized around the craziest person or sort of the weakest person in the family. So if you tell the truth and if you don't let yourself be bullied, a lot of times you'll find that you're not treated very well. It's not fair, but you can also take it as a compliment. You have 2 brothers? Yeah.
I have stepbrothers.
Oh, okay. I wish people wouldn't have step people. Messes me up. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a sister that passed away, and I also my soulmate passed away as well. It's been a rough. Since 2016, it's been rough.
Last 3 years. Saturn is in Scorpio. It's not fun. About 3 weeks, it's occurring to you that suddenly you don't have to put up with this crap anymore from this guy. Because, any game that somebody plays, unfortunately, we agree to play too. So you can empower yourself. Doesn't mean you'll lose them forever, but I really empower yourself by walking away for a little while. And again, have you thought about, you've got 3 kids, right? One of them is, I think you're going to have another kid. I'm sure if you waited a little while, but I definitely see another kid for you. Here's the thing. You're pretty
I mean, you have problems in the past, but you are sensible and you have common sense, which is not that common. And I think that if you get into some sort of structure, have you ever considered going into like medical fields for a little while? You'd be like doesn't sound glamorous, but something like a room technician where you're for people and your patients would go with your sort of no nonsense in a nice way. But,
I've been
what?
I've been a CNA for 10 years. I'm kind of burnt out on it.
Then do something else. I don't know what a CNA is.
It's a certified nursing assistant.
Oh, thank you. You are burnt out now, but you've got a really good resume. Take that experience and take a little time and think about what you like to do. Because sometimes when we've been going through hard times, we can forget what we like to do. We can even forget how to have fun. So I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to go out and buy an iPad so next week's show will be perfect. And I'm going to ask you to just pay attention to what's fun for you.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
A1R Lifestyle, healing, and wellness radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Love and Light with Sarah Manning. Sarah Manning. Live from SarahSManning.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Love and Light on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Love and Light Show with me, your host, Sarah Manning. I hope you're all having a really good week. So far, our week has been really good here. Really great news. I am actually feeling healthy. My vertigo is, as far as I'm concerned, gone. And I'm actually back to my normal self. So that's really exciting for me because it's been a long couple of months trying to fight over things. But anybody that sent me advice or alternatives to taking pills, thank you so much. I tried almost everything, and I had to roll with the punches, and that's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. So I hope you're all getting ready for Christmas. It's 13 days before we get to celebrate. This Christmas for my family and I is actually going to be really different. Normally with my husband's family, we have a big shindig with his side of the family, and being in a different province now, Colin and I aren't going to have that. So it's a little different. And then unfortunately, my sister is not going to be with us for Christmas either. It's the first Christmas that we'll have apart. My mom and her husband are coming, which I'm happy about. But I'm going to miss my sister and her family. We all started celebrating Christmas basically all together and stuff like that. So it's a little hard and challenging. So anybody that is away from family, whether you're in the military, for work, or just distance reasons, I feel ya, sending you guys lots of love, and we got to know that it just gets better from this. Hey, and look, there's other ways to celebrate. You got Skype, you got FaceTime on phones, you got tons of different ways to spend the holidays together in some way, shape, or form, so you can have that interaction, which is super important. So I'm just winging it, basically, until my lovely producer, Dave, finds me a caller, and he always does. He always pulls through for me, and he's being a little hard on himself because of some glitches and stuff. But let's all send him some love because he's fabulous, and we love him. Because him and his team make this show possible, and the ability. and for me to be able to give you guys connections, which is super cool. I love that. Let's see. What else can I tell you? I'm just going to flip a card. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Things always pull out, so I just have to go get it. So 2 seconds. And I can see Dave is typing, so that means that we've got somebody. Oh, here, we have Heal the Ouch. I think, this card has been coming up a lot lately. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, I'm excited to get our first caller whenever they come, but while we're waiting, we're just going to talk about Heal the Ouch card. Hey, actually, I'm going to use, my mom's probably watching. I hope she doesn't mind that I'm going to use this example. So earlier this week, I had a phone call from my mom, and she was letting me know that the way I was supporting her wasn't really the way that she needed me to support her. Now, as I was having the phone call, I could feel my shoulders going up. And I every time I felt it, I'd like push them down, listen to your mom, don't take this personally, understand that she's actually telling you for once what she needs from you. She understands that what you were saying was coming from a place of love, but listen to what she needs. It's like if someone is like, oh, I want milk, but I can't have dairy, and you keep buying them dairy milk, and they're like, well, no, I need coconut or almond. And they just eat the dairy because they're like, well, it's out of love that they're buying me the dairy, even though it makes me sick, right? So I was so grateful that she actually called and said, hey, I love you, but I need this type of support. So when someone says that to you, try not to take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. They're just voicing what their needs are. And if you're trying to help them, don't you want to know what their needs are in the first place? So that clarity needs to happen and everything. So then instead of going, oh, I think they can have dairy milk, I'm going to buy them this dairy milk out of love and kindness and support. And in reality, they're going, oh God, I got to drink this, but I just wish I had coconut or almond milk or soy milk or something else, right? And then when you find out they have a dairy allergy, you're like, oh my God, I bought you all that milk. Why didn't you tell me? I would have much rather buy you something that you could use, right? So remember, sometimes healing the ouch isn't necessarily about you, but it is about the person that you're actually supporting and helping. So that's my little lesson this week, and I think about it all the time, and I'm just always so proud of my mom for saying something, because it's not like her to do that. But anyways, it looks like we have Amber in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. I have never heard of that place. I think it's really great that I get to connect her to her this way. Hi, Amber. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you are so welcome.
Can you hear me?
Thank you for letting us connect you. Are you ready for Christmas?
I'm getting there. I'm trying to. This year I'm trying not to stress about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm getting there, I guess. How about you?
Oh, right on. Actually, I'm as ready as I can be. I just need to put some decorations up, but I'm a little lucky this year because my family and I, we've decided not to do presents. We're just going to do stockings, and that's pretty much it. So very low key.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's it kind of, so my family didn't start celebrating Christmas until about 15 years ago, and we've loved it so much, but after a little while, I think although the magic is still there and the fun of it is still there, I think the older you get, you're like, I don't know what to get this person. Yeah, exactly. So
we're doing memories. We have a 9-year-old, and we're gonna go on vacation instead of a lot of presents. We're gonna make memories and experience life instead of just the material things. So trying to instill that in our kids. So.
I love that. That is awesome. Okay, so Amber, as I was chatting with you, I was just shuffling cards, and we have a card that popped out for you, and it's called great. Ride the Wave, and I love this card because it's a reminder. You've got a really good sense. It's interesting because I'm like you. I don't feel like much ruffles your feathers. Like I feel like you're a pretty strong person.
No, it doesn't. I try to be strong, but I'm kind of burnt out, and I'm trying to awaken spiritually and find my purpose and be the light and go through the dark. But I have a lot of things that have kind of made my soul heavy. So I don't really get ruffled, but I absorb everybody and I feel everybody. But it's kind of hard to find myself in that mix.
Okay, I totally get that. Before I continue on with that, Amber, has your dad passed?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, has your dad passed away?
I really didn't know my dad until I was older in life. I had a stepdad. Both of them are still alive. I don't have really much contact with either of them. So,
Okay, I just feel a really strong male. Sorry, say that again?
My husband's father passed about 2 years ago.
Okay, was he a very strong father figure for you?
No, he wasn't, but for my husband, he was, and it's really affected our life the past 2 years because my husband hasn't been able to grieve over it. He has PTSD from war. So no, I really didn't know him that well, to be honest, but he was a very strong for my husband.
For sure. I would rather, like, whenever I connect spirit, I'm always like, I would rather you be 100% honest than not, right? Because then I kind of go off in the wrong way. So I'm so glad that you said that. Hey, his dad, I keep wanting to say it was he passed away unexpectedly. Would that be correct? And due to trauma?
Yes, miss. Yes.
Okay. So I give what I get, and this might sound a little, I'm like, wow, that's pretty strong. But did he get impacted on the chest? All of a sudden, my chest really hurts.
Yeah, he had a heart attack. He died from a heart attack.
Okay, so that would be why my chest is hurting so bad. I
had a reading once, and he came through as well. And it's kind of odd because I never met him, but my husband and I believe we're twin flames and we're very connected. But he was, like I said, very prominent, like you said, a strong man. So, I mean, that really makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't really relate to it, but I do in a sense because of the connection I have with my husband. So that's interesting.
Right. And, you know, it's interesting because I actually have a lot of clients who are like, I totally know who you're talking about, but I never met them. And I'm always like, your loved one's on the other side. It doesn't bother them if you don't meet them. They're still going to come forward on the chance that you're going to pass the messages on. Amber, your husband really looks like your, or his dad. Is that correct?
That is correct. He's a very strong man like his father. He's like a spitting image of.
Okay, so that makes sense why he's going like this. And it's really, I don't know if you know this, but I keep wanting to say he also had a really good sense of humor because his dad keeps going, but I'm better looking.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's crazy that you say that because my husband is more in tune with his inner self than his chi. His mom was a hippie and his dad was a big motorcycle biker. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, my husband is so devastated over his father's death, and that's kind of what we struggle with daily as a couple because he hasn't really gotten over that acceptance of grief. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and then the other thing that his dad keeps saying is there was so much that they missed out on together. Like it's almost like as much as they cared about each other, there was, like I keep wanting to say, it's like his dad was like, I wish I had told him more. I wish I had spent more time with him. I wish. Does that all make sense?
I mean, when he was younger, like they weren't close. And then when my husband got back from the Marine Corps, they became really close because they had that common bond. You know what I mean? So they did everything. They actually kind of did everything together. But I know that there was probably more. He was always wanting to do something. Like he would just show up and say, "Hey, let's go." His dad was constantly going, having fun and living life. You know.
But his dad missed out on a lot during his life, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, and it's interesting because, like, although the bond was there when they were older, his dad makes me feel like, but a big chunk of his life, that's what I wish I had been there for more, and understood him on different levels. Because it's not that he didn't understand his son, but it's like I understood him, but I couldn't relate because I didn't know 100% how he was growing up. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so know that his dad takes 100% responsibility for that, and also I keep also wanting to say, your husband has a voicemail from his dad on his phone still. Is that right?
I'm not sure. He kind of doesn't tell me things because of his PTSD, but that's very likely. Yeah.
Right. Okay, because I keep feeling like I keep hearing hello son, hello son, hello son on repeat on a phone. So, and it's interesting because his dad is more just like, I know that he's doing this, I know he's doing it, but because he keeps going over and over in his head, and he must have been very blunt because he's like, it's driving him crazy because it makes that pain that much deeper and that much more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to smack him because his dad's coming through. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, we're going to push him out now, and I want to finish the reading that we have with the card, because unfortunately I do have somebody else waiting, but I'm still going to give you the advice that came through the card. So with the Ride the Wave card, what that basically is telling you is you have to decide, you know, when we're on a wave, if you're surfing on a wave, you can only have a certain amount of weight to keep yourself balanced. You can't take everything. So what I want to remind you is you have to decide what is going to affect you, what's important to you, and don't worry about anybody.
That's so hard to do for me.
100%.
For me, because I love everybody and everything, so I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to separate that.
So I can totally understand that and appreciate that, because doing what I do, I try to help everybody and I love everybody. I totally understand that. Amber, what I'm going to do for you is, because unfortunately your father-in-law hijacked your reading and I'm running out of time, I don't want to just through this reading. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to contact me through my Facebook page, which is Sarah Manning, Spiritual Medium, and look for the pink hair. And
Sarah Manning, you said?
Yeah, Sarah Manning. You can, and you can even go to my website at Sarah S. Manning. So what I would like to do is I'd like to spend a little bit more time with you at a little bit more convenient time.
I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that, because I need the guidance, and I really, like I said, want to be the light. I'm just really lost and heavy and confused. So I really appreciate that.
So tonight, what I would recommend is and this has to be your top priority. As much as you need to breathe, this needs to be your priority. You need to have a hot bath with Epsom salts. And make sure that nobody bothers you. You can be like, if you want me to be a happy person, you give me this time, because that will
leave me alone. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, Sarah, and I will go ahead and be requesting your friendship on Facebook. And you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so next we have Angela from, oh my God, Dunedin, Queensland, Australia. Hi, Angela. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I am just fine, thank you. How's the weather over in Australia? Nice and hot and summery?
Yes, it is very hot.
Oh, is it a little too hot, or is it comfortable right now?
It's comfortable today, but it has been extremely hot.
Okay. Okay. Well, I find it funny that it's been extremely hot, because the card that comes for you is water. And water kind of, cools this down. But it's the Magic Stream card. I actually love this card. But this card tells me, I want to tell you that some self-care needs to happen for you. And it's interesting, because I feel like you're actually trying to make yourself more of a priority, but you're feeling a bit lost on how to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So something I've recently learned is I used to tell people, well, what's your passion? Figure out what your passion is and start dedicating yourself to that. But sometimes people don't know what their passion is or what they're interested in. But for you, with your self-care and passion, I feel like you need to try a few things. I actually want to encourage you to get to water, put your feet in it, because I feel like cool water really helps you kind of relax. Is that right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So I would encourage you to, when you're feeling totally stressed out and just kind of frazzled, I would say get your feet into some really cool water and just enjoy the feeling of it and let things, it's almost like I would envision a vacuum from your feet and see everything being sucked out of your body through your feet, and just let things go almost. And I know that's easier said than done, but a little bit at a time, you'll find that you'll get more relaxed and more relaxed. And it's I keep feeling cool water on the back of my neck. Do you usually put, when you get really hot, do you usually take some water and put it at the back of your neck as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's really good, because that's actually, you're realizing, hey, I need to cool down and I'm going to do this. And you're taking care of yourself in almost a subconscious level. So once we become conscious of it, Oh, that's so cool. Angela, do you draw or paint? Like I almost see doodles, like doodling all over the place as well.
Yeah, I try to. I'm not very good at it though.
Hey, that doesn't matter. It's all good. It's what works for you, right? And I feel like that is, it needs to become a little bit more of a priority, not when you just have a few minutes to think about it. I feel like I want to remind you to make that a priority. And sometimes we have to schedule it in, right? Like we schedule times to eat, and we're just like, this day, this week, this time, I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself. Because, you know, when a battery, one of my favorite examples is when we're driving a car and our car runs out of gas. We never get mad at the car for running out of gas. We just take it for granted and go, oh, I need to put gas in it. And we fill the gas, we fill our car up. But when it comes to us, when we run out of gas, we're like, why do you need gas? Like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you keep going? Why can't you take a heavier load and stuff like that? We are so much more important and valuable than a car. Right? So I would encourage you to really take the time to really figure things. I also want to tell you, have you ever heard, I don't know if they have them in Australia, but do you guys have salt lamps over there?
Yes, we do.
Okay, do you have some? Because I think they'd be really good for you as well.
My mum has some and has been trying to give them to me. So I'll take her up on that, I think.
Yes, I think it would be really good. And, you know, it doesn't have to be everywhere in your house, but it's interesting because I also want to tell you, you need a sacred space in your home, a place where you are like, have a comfortable chair set up. You've got a little table with some things that you love and your salt lamp. And it's like, when you're in that space, nobody's allowed to bug you. You're just like, okay, I'm going to enjoy it. And the other thing, too, that I want to remind you, Angela, is I think sometimes we forget to smile because usually we only smile when something funny happens or when we're, we're around people that we like. But sometimes when we just simply smile, even when we're driving, all of a sudden your mood can switch up and you're like, that's right. I'm smiling because I love myself and I'm giving myself that energy. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm so glad it makes sense. That's awesome. And it's funny too, because sometimes when we smile, it brings us back to the present. Sometimes, we're just moving through the motions. We're not really aware of what's going on. So we're kind of just going like through life numb. But when we smile, we bring ourselves back to the moment. We're like, yay, I feel so good and life is getting better. And all you did was smile. That simple thing. Even if for the first little bit it feels funny, so you just hold the smile for like 2 seconds. But the more you do it, the more natural it'll be. And I think, and you have such a beautiful smile. And it's interesting because I want to say you have very beautiful eyes. Do you have blue eyes? I keep seeing blue eyes.
I do. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, your eyes are very beautiful, and when you smile, your smile reaches your eyes. And what you're going to start doing, because I also feel like you want to make an impact on other people's lives and find a way to shift their lives in a more positive way as well. But you're not sure how to do that. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Start small. Start with a smile. It's amazing how many people. So when I go walking down the street, I'm constantly trying to remind myself to smile, and it's amazing how somebody that looks frazzled and stressed and they are walking towards you and you just smile. It's amazing that like their response and everything. And it's interesting to me. Perfect. That's great. It's interesting too because like the other thing I want to tell you is when you get those urges. Just tell somebody, oh, I love this about you, or, oh my gosh, you're so handsome, or, oh, you're so pretty, or I love the way your hair is done. I keep wanting to tell you, actually do it. Because even when it feels a little awkward and you're just like, oh God, these people are going to think I'm crazy. But that's going to change their day simply for that 20 seconds of you giving them their time. or giving them your time. Do you have any questions in general at all, Angela?
No, not really.
Okay, but I have about 2 minutes left, so I just want to thank you very much for joining me today and letting me give you those messages. I hope you have a really great time in Australia, or you live in Australia, but I keep wanting to say I hope you have a great summer and get close to water. I think you'll really find that a lot more calming. And just investigate what feels good for you, and I think you'll have an even better summer than you thought.
Okay, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. You hit the nail on the head with a lot of things.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. So to everybody else, of course, thank you so much for a great show. I always love my Wednesdays. They're always special. I was worried I was going to be late today, but we managed to make it and go live, which is even better. And to Dave and everybody on A1R Psychic Radio Network and Moonstruck TV, thank you, thank you. Have an excellent night, guys, and we will see you next week. Bye. Love and light.
This is A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. It's time for Persian Medium I Am Power with Persian Medium Fiona. Live from PersianMedium.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Persian Medium I Am Power on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
I was at the age of 7. So it was my first grade. Yes, that was my first grade. Actually, it was that I felt that I'm kind of different, compare myself with others in the class. I felt that I feel and see things which kind of weird. It was really weird to me because I didn't know to who I have to talk to. What should I say to my teacher? And how can I explain my experience and my connections to, I didn't know at that time what it means. The Holy Spirit, the messages, the things that come to me without I'm asking, or every time when I want to have something, it's just come to me or came to me at that time. So I do remember I talked to my grandma and I said, I feel that I can hear people, I can see people. Yeah, it was about actually the making a decision. It was about that just do something, because every time when someone had some need, believe me or not, they come to me by themselves. I never even knew any of those people, where they are and where I can find them. They came to me, they talked to me out of sudden, and somehow I'm a messenger. And as a messenger, I always has to deliver my message. If I'm not, then I'm getting some punish from God, or somehow some energies come to me and tell me or tell me that, you know, you have to, and you did not. So yes, it came so naturally to me. I never decided for any of those messages. Those messages came very easily and nicely to me, and I always, the only responsibility that I have is that I have to deliver the messages. Well, I raised with my grandpa and grandma, so I did not know anything about my parents until I was 11 years old. And my mom and my dad got married, and I was just 9 months when they got divorced. Both of them been very young and very mature, as I heard. My dad never been in Iran because after they divorced, so my dad moved to Italy or in Europe. So, and my grandparents did not even tell me about that I have mom and dad. They just act and also pretend that my mom is my grandma and my dad is my grandpa. My mother is my sister and my uncles is my brothers. So that I heard until I was 11 years old. So I was just around the age of 13 that I started to think about that I need to do something by my own. And of course, my Holy Spirit and God always was behind me, helped me, guided me, and let me know exactly where to go and how to do. So I started a little business by business, and I felt that, oh, now I became a businesswoman. It's like a young 13 and 14 years old lady that is starting to kind of, you know, feel and sense that she has connection to people. She has connection to God. She has connection to the source that she never ever thought that she could ever go there. Like every single business as you could imagine, like computer and other things that I never had any experience of. So yes, I start my real business at the age of 13. and became actually the marketing manager for a big company actually in Iran, in Tehran, as a marketing manager. Yes, I did. Success is you. You are success. Success is everywhere. Success is something that you think and feel and connect into your own abilities. Success is about that you believe in yourself in the first place. Success means that you never let down or let go of anything that you want and wish because someone telling you that you can't. And you know what the most amazing success for me was? When people said, you can't do it, and I did. That means success. I am actually gave me the very nice, beautiful hicks of you are who you are. It's just remind me about who I am. And power is also telling me that get in touch and get connect with your abilities, the power and the gift that you have inside, and try to touch it. And every time when I says I am, I remind myself exactly who I am. And power is telling me what type of power and abilities I have that I can receive and give, or give and receive to my audience, to my clients, to my students, and to my followers. You, my students, my audience, my followers, and those that I don't even know, but I'm talking to them daily, maybe 10 times a day. Sometimes I may not know exactly who they are, but when they're calling me, would they meet me, would they cry, and would they feel that I know them for so long, that is exactly the inspiration. And every time when someone calling and says, well, Fiona, things happened. Well, Fiona, because of you, my life getting better. Well, Fiona, thank you so much. You saved my marriage. Well, Fiona, thank you so much. You healed my husband. Well, Fiona, thank you so much for everything you did. That is exactly the inspiration for me to go and do everything that goes from my power, little by little, to make you guys happiest. Well, it's very funny because I'm actually having or had or still a lot of people who is non-believer. And what the funny part was, those who was non-believer, when they was around me, the Holy Spirit and the guidance that come from the add energies is just showing them that they are completely wrong. Things happened that I was with them, messages come from others, so they kind of like being shocked one after each other that, wow, we didn't even believe, we didn't even thought, we couldn't even, you know. So I understand that there is a lot of people that is non-believer, but you know what? This is exactly what I'm telling to people. If you are believing that you are living, that you have blood in your body, that you can move your body from here to the left and go to the right, means that you can feel and sense. And then you get connected to the sense of the energies that you have inside. Then you can feel more and more. As you know that animals can feel and sense before any bad things is going to happen, because they have a very strong sense. It depends. If you are a person that trying to, you know, make your sense or see your sensualities in your emotion, your vision, imagination, your subconscious mind, get close to that power, then you can see, feel, and connect to the spirit. If you don't, if you disable those visions, if you disable those beliefs, if you disable that there is nothing as a miracle, everything is all about this, everything is all about that, everything is all about black, and everything is all about white, there is not in the middle, what I have to say is completely wrong. Because I could feel and I could see exactly where we stand when it comes to our vision, emotion, feelings, and subconscious mind. If you get close to all of them, you can have and active your psychic abilities and mediumship. If not, it will be gone. So those who don't believe, they may never gonna activate the third eyes, the emotion and the vision in their life. So my advice to all of them is about to open up, activate it, believe it until you achieve it. Colors hypnot my mind and hypnot my vision to what I want to receive as a messages. Sometimes when I have a difficult cases or I am in a difficult place with client, which I'm trying to help and make them to heal, I am using those colors as a significant fingerprint for myself to receive messages and to give them the messages. That's why I go to my studio and just like closing and shut the door for maybe half an hour to 3 or 4 hours. I'm using all the colors around, I'm playing with them, and I'm creating whatever I am waiting or they are waiting to get an answer from me. So yes, when I'm painting, I am not here. If someone screaming at me, talking to me, like my son, many times they come and says, well, Mom, can you do this and that? Well, I couldn't even hear them. So, well, my husband says, well, your phone is ringing, so can you answer? I couldn't even hear that because I'm not here. When I'm paint, I'm not here. I'm somewhere else. And sometimes the way that I'm choosing colors, the shape, the idea is not something that I'm choosing before I go in. So every single of those that I paint here in my house, it has some significant fingerprint of something that has to do with some of my clients, my achievement, or was very touchy. That's why I feel painting for me or to me was always like, just do it. It's time. Do you want to receive that messages or do you want to heal that specific person? Please just do it. So many people ask me about like, is it a pentagram? Is this something that, is this not a pentagram? Is it not something that people or others use? Pentagon is my technique. It's my technique in between God, me, and Holy Spirit. In between you, God, and Holy Spirit. In between math and the quantum physics. So it's all about many angles of whatever you want to be and wherever you want to go. They guide me, they tell me, both in a science way and in a very spiritual way. That's why I'm using Pentagon as whatever you want me to ask for. And this is a technique that I can't really teach anyone because this is something that came through me, gave me the messages, and almost after so many years, I received 99% accuracy for the Pentagon reading. And it's all about your real date of birth. And also is about what you want exactly to know and what type of messages I can receive. And if there is any warning, anything that you should be aware of, the Pentagon will tell you what to do or not to do. I'm working with all law enforcement, lawyers, police officers. Also, I had a couple cases with the highest top. So, yeah, I do. There is a lot of mystery questions about mystery murder cases, about questions that why this person is just like missing for 2 months without even have any sort of communication or connection with the family. The lawyers basically had kind of like insurance company cases, example. They want to know that if that specific company telling the truth about what happened or not happened. And through their investigation, they're going to figure that, oh no, that's not true. Because the only things I'm telling them that there is 2 ways or 3 ways that they are lying. The first is this, the second is this, and the third is that. So it's now up to you where you're going to go and investigate. And also when it comes to missing people, it's always a pleasure to helping missing, people or family that who has a lot of pain because their family is not around. So yeah, it's such a pleasure when just like trying to use my abilities and my pentagon, of course, to see exactly where they are. And if sometimes fortunate, I can tell them that, yeah, exactly where they are, but sometimes unfortunate, I have to just find a body for them and then let them to release and relief from that pain. To me, it's all about messages, and it's all about spirit messages. I dreamed again, and in my dream, I saw a very beautiful, gorgeous lady. I couldn't see the face, but I saw the beautiful white hair, long, white, beautiful hair with the white dresses. And when I say dresses, because she wore a couple dresses through her, it sounds to be that I could see her to transfer from the one place to second place and changing a dress through the white again and again and again and again. And to me, it was about like, what is the message is all about, why I dreamed about her. And then I didn't know exactly how and which way. Then I asked again, can you please tell me what is all about? Can you just please tell me why I had you in my dream and who are you? So next day, not, but the second day, I dreamed about her again. And she said, where white became light. I woke up and I felt like, oh my God, what is that? And again, I back to sleep. And she come back again and says, where white became light. And it was exactly when I started to heal cancer patients. That was exactly when I started to heal animals. That was exactly when I healed, when I got the result as a healer, that how strongly things got exactly what we want. So, and that was a message to me. If you want to heal people, then wear white. And I felt that, okay, maybe it's just a matter of timing when I'm touching them. But then when I ask, I receive the messages and says, no, until you die. You wear white until you die, because it sounds to me that something activated in my mind and my body to be a healer, to heal disease that doctor says there is no way to heal. That's why I'm wearing white until I die. Well, my message to singing people is about don't give up, because, and if you guys have any bad experience in the past, that doesn't mean that it's going to continue, because life is just about you, and is about that how you look at the life and your, passion, what you had. So let's say that people come back and say, well, you know what, I've been hurt, I've been raped, I've been abused, I've been this. My advice to all of them is about stop to say, I've been is a past. I don't want you to live in the past, because past is past. It's just going to give you more blame and anxieties. And then what do you want to do from now on? Do you know exactly what you want from the new guy? Because many of those clients that I have, they may say, well, I don't know, I just want a real man. And who is the real man for you? A real man is about to be a very wealthy man, but kind of stupid, or a man that has everything. People says, oh, I want to have everything together. What I says, well, lady, everything means everything to you, but you have to be specifically and significantly know exactly what you want from that guy. So for those who are single today and kind of give up because they don't know exactly what to do and where to go, because there is no man, well, of course there is. And of course you can make it. And of course you can find your twin flame, your soulmate, the man that you are going to be connected for whole life. But it's all about give and receive. For women who wants to just receive and be as a receiver, they are not going to go anywhere. Even the man that comes from the Holy Spirit and trying to be a perfect model is not going to make you happy. So you have to first be happy on your own skin before you date anyone. And if you are not happy in your own skin, then please don't date anyone, because you destroy your life and destroy that person's life as well. be happy in your own skin, and then start dating and feel and receive the moment that you want. So the art, exactly as I said, the art of receiving is giving. I love horses a lot. I did from age 10, actually. I would love to follow everywhere, look in every magazines to see, because to me, horses was a beautiful, gorgeous spirit. And I felt like the way that they are, their muscles, their beautiful eyes, they hypnote me, like, you know, like hypnotizing you when you're talking to them. And when I was there for the first time, when I was like touching my first actually horse to see exactly like how it's going to be the feelings, it was just like, I think I was 13. And kind of I was scared at the beginning because I was a little girl and that the horse was completely like tall, muscle, and it's like, but the only way that I could connect to that horse and feel completely in love with, it was his eyes. So from there, I could see and feel the eyes of, you know, every single horses that I could even see through the magazine, through actually, you know, TV shows and everywhere, that I am connected to them. And believe me or not, it was so cool because every time when I manifesting or want to manifest about something, the first things that come to my mind, that was the beautiful eyes of horses. And specifically the first time that I met my first horse at the age of 13, I always remind about that beautiful eyes. Every single of horses has a significant eyes, which telling you about who you are and what to do to get better. Many of horse owners asking me, well, how can you tell to my horse? Because I told him before in the past, I told her, but they are not listening. But they do listen to you right away, right now. And it's all about connection. So your horse and the way that your horse come to your life, it means a lot. That means something for you. That you are connected to your horse in the past life. That means that this horse may gonna tell you something or some messages that many of those owners doesn't know how to connect with. That's exactly what I'm doing. Many of those horses wants to be famous. They are jumper. They want to win. Their owners would love to win. They have a desire to win. Well, but they want to make sure that the horse exactly understood the fact that what exactly his or her desires is. And that is my role to go hypnotizing horses and telling him and her exactly what to do and not to do to make her happiest or feel healthiest or wealthiest, whatever she or he wants. So that is exactly what I did. At the same time, I heal horses a lot. Horses with the pain, emotional pain, physical pain, and any pains that maybe a doctor couldn't really do anything with them. I could, and I did, and I succeed. And I'm happy for that. That's why I'm very connected to horses. I am strongly connected to their energies, and I can do everything that goes from my power to make them, both horse and horse owners, happiest together and having and fulfill their desires. Okay, the way that you guys can see me or talk to me or find me is in 3 ways. Okay, the first way is Avid Advice. AvidAdvice.com is an online platform that you guys could just call, chat, and ask any questions you guys have. Many of you guys may not living in California, or maybe you are located in Europe. Many of you guys may be in Australia, maybe in another state. So it's kind of very hard for you guys to fly here and just say, well, you know, Fiona, can you just ask this, you know, just answer these questions? So you can call and chat with me anytime and no time. I'm always online 24 hours and 7 days because of all the clients that I have worldwide. Then, you know, they're going to be the shortest, the nicest, and maybe for you, the easiest. And the second is my radio shows, which is people calling and listening to my radio shows for half an hour. But unfortunately, not people can find me easily there because there's tons of people that waiting on the line to trying to have a convo with me. And the third one, which is the best ever one you can think and imagine, is a face-to-face meeting in my wellness center with my team in Corona Del Mar, and in Avid Awakening. So we do a lot for you guys. We will do and touch your soul, your body, and your emotion and get you closer to yourself. So that's why I'm receiving a lot of emails after that says, well, Fiona, I would love to see you again. I would love to talk to you again and see your team, because after I went home, I just been somebody else. And of course, this person can't come back all the time. So what they are doing, they calling me on Avid Advice after that, and they asking again for other, subject and object, what they have in their life, and they want to make sure that if they can make it as a progress. So that is exactly what I'm doing, and that is exactly what I did all my life until now. But of course, Avid Awakening is much better because you are guys going to meet me. We both can exchange energies. We are going to hike, and we are going to see exactly what type of need you have and what we could do to make you happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, and get connected to your own soul. Welcome to Avid Awakening, a beautiful, gorgeous wellness center who will adjust you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Also, it will help you to manifest your finance, anything and everything you desire for. This place is a very beautiful place which is located in Corona Del Mar. So please book your appointment today.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. And now, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl with Tanya Reid. Live from AustraliaPsychicCowgirl.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or our website, websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Australia's Psychic Cowgirl on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Tonya Reeves here, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl, coming at you from the car down in Melbourne today. So, yeah, we've got a bit of action going on. So you'll see people walking past, you'll see cars driving down the road, and, yeah, nothing like keeping it live, is it? So, you know, that's just how we roll down here. So I hope you enjoy your bit of background scenery. It's always a bit of fun. Getting used to that, ready to get into the holiday season down here. So I will be on the road and we'll be having various locations, and hopefully we get some good reception so that I can come at you on the radio and still answer all your, you know, your calls and do a reading. So yeah, let's keep the flow of it. So to start with today, I thought I would touch on the fact that we're into the holiday mode. We've got just under 3 weeks of this year left. So we're really getting some big, strong pushes. And, you know, I found lately I've had so many people contact me that have been going through some really major, almost I want to say kicks up the butt to go really let go of even more stuff than what they've already done this year. So if you relate to that, know that you're not on your own. We're getting propelled, ready for our energy for next year. So that's all pretty exciting. So just go roll with it. And also I feel like I wanted to share with you some tools to be able to cope when we go through times like this where we get really busy. There's a lot of stress around, you know, there's a lot of things that we're being pulled to do that we may not really want to be doing, but we have to. So I think that before you get into that mode, it's really ideal to have a backup plan so that when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, you have your plan there to go, right, I know what I can do to help myself here, to help me get through what I need to get through to get through this period. And, you know, it is quite taxing for a lot of people. It's sort of, you know, the end of year energy is often we're worn out. Everyone's been busy, got so much going on that, you know, we need to take time out. So what I wanted to remind you is have your default setting that when you do feel overwhelmed and when you do feel a little bit like, I need to take a deep breath, that you have your tools in place. So these are the things that, you know, just tend to bring us back to being mindful of looking out for ourselves, to actually remind us to reconnect. And for me, I have things where, like, I have a playlist that I listen to that is like motivating and, you know, gets me fired up. If I'm feeling in a bit of a funk, I'll go to that playlist and I'll play the songs. And I find music is a really great one to be able to really lift your spirits and give you that bit of extra oomph when deep down you're kind of not feeling like it. So another one is going outside, getting out in nature. For me, connecting with the animals is really great because they're always calming and, you know, they bring into that sense of just, you know, being present. And then we've also, you know, exercise is another great one. Going out for a walk. I often do like a brisk walk with a bit of a meditation or a chant that I do when I'm doing that. I find that really beneficial as well. So even if it's just for 15 or 20 minutes, gives us that little bit of an extra boost. So, you know, just having tools like that are things that we can have in the back of our mind so that when we do feel overwhelmed or feeling like we just need to take 5 minutes out, we can then go, okay, I'm going to listen to my music, or I'm going to head outside, or, you know, even chatting to a friend, just something that you have on, I suppose, that you have in the back of your mind to know that you can connect and just recharge. So it's a little bit like, you know, recharging your battery. Sometimes we can't just take off for a holiday or, you know, get into that holiday mode like that. But we can have these tools that are there ready for us to just grab onto and say, you know what, I need a bit of time out. I'm going to pick whichever one resonates with me at that point in time, and I'm going to do that and spend a bit of time doing some, you know, some self-nurturing and just being able to allow yourself to get into the zone. So, because sometimes when it is busy, when it is this time of year, it's really hard to get into the zone and feel that it's easy to access. So I just wanted to share those with you today to say you can access and have your own, things that just give you that bit of a boost that improve your general well-being, and then you can just access them and go, you know what, I'm just going to go and do that, and I know it feels good. All right. Another one is a bit of meditation, just quietening everything down, creating a bit of calm, calling in your spirit guides, your friends, family and spirit, all of those that are around you, your spiritual team. Call them in and say, hey, I need a bit of help here. Give me the signs so that, you can be reassured that you're getting that a gift of being able to tune into you and the messages that come along with that, especially connecting and asking spirit to help us. They're always there to help us, but we do need to make a point of stopping and taking notice of things. So again, slowing down. So you can see how I've just changed my voice. So as I was connecting, asking spirit to come in, I'm slowing down. I'm actually, taking a bit longer to say my words, and I'm connecting into that peacefulness, that quiet zone. And that's a zone where you get the messages. You don't get the messages when you're, which we get into at this time of year. We're in our head. When you're in your head, you're not clear. So that's my little reminder today, is to take time out for you, connect with your loved ones in spirit and ask them for guidance, and really take notice of the signs they give you, because they will definitely be giving you signs, especially this time of year. They all know what you're going through. They can see what's going on, so they want to be there to help you. So, yeah, please utilize those tools. And if you do and you find it really good, send me a message, because I love to hear from you. And I do appreciate all your messages that you send me, and the connections that I get to make from all around the world. It's awesome. Okay, my first caller is Cameron in Pennsylvania, USA. Cameron, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Really good. How awesome. I don't get to read for many men that ring in, so I'm pretty excited. Are you still there, Cameron?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool. Now, do you have anything specific you want me to tune in that's going on around you at the moment?
Yeah. I just recently got out of a relationship like 10 months ago, and kind of left me a little like high and dry, I guess you could say. And I still have everything, and I was just wondering, is she actually ever going to get her stuff, or what's going to happen with that?
Okay, so you've gone through the separation, but you're still surrounded by things that are connected, or with the two of you. Is that what you mean?
No, it's well, her stuff, but yeah, I guess it'd be my stuff too, but mainly her stuff. And I don't know, I've given her all this time to get her things, and I don't know, it's just nothing's happening.
Yep. So I feel like intuitively the relationship's over, though. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah, I know it's absolutely over, yes.
Yeah, cool. So basically, because it's almost like you're ready to move on now and get back on the horse again. So energetically, you're feeling like you just want to get rid of all the bits and pieces, and it's kind of like reminders and things that are around that no longer serve you in moving forward. Is there somebody that's just stepped in that you've met, or have they not quite stepped in yet?
No one's actually stepped in yet. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I feel like there's somebody, if they haven't already stepped in, there's somebody that's going to step in that's not that far away. So I feel like you're connecting a bit with that energy, and that's why you're feeling like you need to get rid of all these reminders and things that go along with it, because there's been massive changes. I feel like since the separation, you've had so many realizations and changes that you've actually taken on board that is actually going to create a different dynamic with your next relationship.
Right.
And I'm also shown there's something where justice is going to be in your favour. So I don't know whether you've got, there's something to be sorted around you, but I feel like I want to go to, there's something where a ruling will be in your favour. So I want to, because it's like Spirit's coming through saying, tell him it will all be okay.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Right? Yeah. So there's a really strong message in that. Now, there's a male around you. Is your father in spirit, Cameron? Can I ask?
No, he's not. No, he's still here.
Okay, who's the father figure in spirit? Was there somebody that was like a father to you? Because he's coming through very fatherly, like he really had a good connection with you and quite a strong connection.
Yeah.
So, and I want to go to, there's something around, I want to go to like a name like Craig or a C or something, but he's strongly stepping in, and it's almost like he's the one coming in saying things will be ruled in your favour. Don't worry about it. Let it work out as it needs to. I feel with something around this, it will take a little bit longer than you maybe think, but don't worry about that because it'll just transpire as it needs to. There is, he's laughing. He's a little bit cheeky, this chap too. He's got like a sense of humour. And I want to go to, I don't know whether he had a moustache or there's something around a moustache, but there's something to do with a moustache around him. But he's also showing me with this lady stepping in, there's someone who's got a great sense of fun, because you deep down have a sense of fun, but I feel like that was really worn down in your last relationship. So it's kind of like you lost that along the way because everything became a drama, I want to say.
Right, yes. Yes, very true.
So it's like, yeah, and it's like this next one, she's going to be fun. And, you know, there's something also that he's showing me where I don't know whether you had something happen over the last 12 months where it made you turn things around and go, you know what, I'm going to live for today and I'm not going to stress about, you know, what's going to happen in the future, because it's like there's something that's made you have this, like almost like I want to say like an epiphany of, you know what, we don't know how long we're here for, but I'm going to embrace my life instead of living it as everyone else tends to think I need to. I'm actually going to do it for myself.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because
very true.
Yeah, because there's a lot of power for you next year, and it's like I want to say congratulations on having that realization, because things are going to flow a lot better from here on now with the fact that you've gone through what you needed to, you've had that realization, and you're ready to grab the bull by the horns. You know, like you're ready to step up. And there's something around, where does a motorbike fit in? Have you always wanted a bike or something? Because I feel like there's something you're going to do next year that you've always wanted to do, but everyone's gone, you know, you've got to be sensible, you've got to be grown up, blah, blah, blah. But you're like, you know what, I want to do this, so I'm going to go and do it.
Yeah. Thinking about motorcycles and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're going to buy the bike. Because I feel like it's been one that you've always wanted. So it's like next year, with you stepping into this power, you're going to give yourself permission to go, you know what? I've always wanted it. I'm having it. I'm going to have some fun. And, you know, it will be as it needs to, but it will all sort itself out. And there's going to be a real shift even in finances for you because of the fact that you're going with the flow now. You're not being dragged into the sense of worry. You're just being in allowance, which is fantastic.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So it's almost like also with this, your intuition's been really fine-tuned. So I do want to say follow your heart, and that's where this new relationship that's coming in, you will be like, yes, it feels right, and it really will feel right. So you will meet and you'll instinctively go, yep, I know this is right for me, instead of having that bit of a sense of doubt or hesitation or thinking, oh, I'm not sure about this. That won't be like that. And that's all because of what you've been through and the fact that you've woken up to go, yep, I'm living life now, which is so cool. People take years to do that.
Okay, that's great news. That's good.
Yeah, great. So as far as all the stuff goes, yeah, you have to get it out. If she's not prepared to come and get it, just you know, give it away or whatever needs to be done and let go, because it's like that's the last step you need to do to get ready for next year and opening up for the new and the new relationship and the sense of fun that's, you know, you deserve that. You've worked hard. It's time to reap some rewards.
Okay.
Okay, so there's changes for you next year. Very, very good. There's something around your hair too. I don't know whether you're going to grow your hair or are you doing something different with your hair? Because it's showing me you're doing something different with your hair.
I don't think so. I mean, no, I kind of like my hair.
Well, there's something around next year that obviously hasn't stepped in yet. But when it does, let me know, because it's going to be funny. Like he's showing me he's got a sense of humour. This dude, it's like he's saying he's going to do something different. So keep us posted, but know that stepping into next year is going to be fantastic for you. So, you know, and I feel like intuitively you sense that. So that's really good.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So put yourself out there, time to move forward, and it's exciting stuff. Lovely lady stepping in for you.
Awesome. That's great news.
No worries,
Cameron. Thank you so much.
All right. My pleasure. Lovely to connect. Connect with me on my Facebook page, and please send me a message and let me know. I want to see a photo of the two of you early next year. We're talking January
Tanya,
or February.
what is it?
All right. Tanya Reid, Australia's psychic cowgirl. Yeah.
Tanya Reid.
All right. Yeah, Tanya Reid. It's all on the bottom of where you see me now. Right here's got my name, and that Australia's Psychic Cowgirl is my Facebook page. So yeah, please connect. Thank you. I better go on to my second caller now. Take care. All right. My second call, Lakeisha in Missouri, USA.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good. Really good. Have I connected with you before, or I've had somebody with a similar name?
No, I've never connected with you before.
Oh, wow. Cool. What a beautiful name. I love it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You've got some changes happening around you at the moment, and you're making some decisions.
Yes, absolutely.
Woohoo! Because I'm like excited. There's some really cool. There's something though I want to say, because I'm laughing. They're showing me there's a decision. There's something that's a real. I want to say it's like I want to laugh when I say it, but it's like, oh my God, it's so hard to make a choice. It's like there's two things that are both really, really good, and you're like going, oh my God, well, I do this one or that one. And they're actually, what they're showing me is they're both as good as each other. So it makes it really hard to go, which one am I going to do? I want to go.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you? Yeah.
Yes. I've been on a spiritual journey, and I'm going through like some sort of an awakening, if you will. And so I've been intrigued by a lot of different things. So I'm like, which path should I take? Because everything is intriguing at this moment. So I'm kind of trying to find out. Yes. And it's been a beautiful experience.
You've got a really fascinating journey, and it's like I want to also say in that awakening, there's even more to come. So, and I know it's been pretty massive, but there's even more to that. And it's like there's massive amounts of communication that you're going to be sharing with others. So that's really important that you process everything, because it needs to be shared, and you will share that as part of your journey into this spiritual, embracing that aspect. I mean, you've always been quite spiritual, but it's like you've had your senses lifted, so you're really tuning into things now, and you're getting a lot of really amazing insights and messages, I want to say.
Wow, absolutely. I am.
And it's like, I want to say there's around this, there's a leap of faith. So it's like there's an opportunity coming up where you are going to be asked to step up into this. And you might feel like, oh, I don't know whether I can do it. But it's like the Spirit is stepping in going, tell her yes, tell her yes. There's a lady stepping in around you too, I want to say. Because I'm getting
my grandmother. I have two grandmothers that have passed on. I don't know which one it is, but two of them have passed on.
All right. There's something around a dog with one. So did one of them have a dog? I feel like there's a dog in spirit with her.
I'm not that I can remember. One of my grandmothers, I did not know I was young when she passed, and the other one, I knew. I said she was like my mom. She raised me.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And that's what I'm getting a sense of, because I feel like what she's showing me is she had a connection with you. There's also something around hair that I don't know whether you've got her hair or there's some link between the two of you, whether you've got the same hair colour as her or you do your hair. I don't know. I want to go to hair, or whether she used to do your hair.
Yep, my grandmother. Yep, the one that raised me.
Yep. Okay.
Yep,
so it's almost, it's almost like she's the one stepping and helping you with this spiritual step up, and it's like she's around you, and I feel like she gives you signs. So it's like she's showing me, she lets you know she's around. So almost like, you know, when you get the goosebumps and you get that really strong feeling of not being alone and someone's around. It's like her stepping in for you. And I also want to say she's showing me, before she passed, because she was unwell before she passed, yeah?
She was unwell. Yes, she was sick. I was 16 years old when she passed.
Yep. Now, because she's showing me, there's something she said to you, like as in when she was unwell, there was something that she spoke to you about to say, I will connect with you, or I will always be there for you, or there's something, because she's bringing me back to that, to say, she's saying she loves you and she's around you. And she doesn't want, please don't be sad. She's up there having a little party for you and letting you know that she is definitely around, especially now. It's like she's got a...
I never got a chance to say goodbye. It kind of caught me off guard. Yep.
But
I always thought she would live forever. She will probably remember me saying that.
Yeah, at 16 you do, because you don't ever think that, you know, it's something you can't quite fathom at that age, that you know, that they do pass on, you know, that things happen like that. So, totally understandable. But she's the one that's stepping in. She's putting her hand up to say she's guiding you at the moment, and she will bring in these opportunities. And I feel like she's a larger-than-life lady, so there's an element that she's showing me that, you know, like, I've got the power. I can do this for her. And you know, of course, she's like, you already know that she'll step in and do that for you.
Oh, absolutely.
She's beautiful.
Absolutely. She is, and she's a very strong-minded woman. She was very firm. She was a very firm woman. Very firm.
Yep. Excellent. And that's absolutely. Like she's going to give you signs, and I want to get my little finger out and go, and point to you, because I don't know whether that's how she'd speak to you sometimes, but it's like she's got a pointing finger going, yep, you tell her, I'm going to give her the sign. She's going to understand what it is, and all will be fine. I want to say that. I want to say it in that accent. All will be fine. It's like, I feel like that's,
you know,
she's coming
sometimes I get her energy confused with my other grandmother, because remember I said my other grandmother passed when I was too young to remember, but she's somehow been connected to me too.
Yes.
I don't know why, but
no, and they are, because you know they're around you, and you have that DNA, you have that connection. The other grandmother's more gentle, and I have to say, like, if I was to go to her personality, she's more in the background, whereas you know, obviously the one that raised you, she's more of the stronger personality of the two of them, but there's no doubt they're both around you, and you can fine tune that to say, okay, show me what your signs are, and they will show you so that you know exactly who's around when. And like you're saying, you've already got a good vibe, but I just feel like the other grandma's more gentle and more, she's just a very soft energy, whereas this one's like, yep, I'm coming in and I'm going to be showing you what to do. And she'll be...
Absolutely. And see, the grandmother that passed when I was a young girl, when I was about 7 years old, she showed herself to me. She's identical to my mother, and I thought it was my mother, but she showed herself to me.
Yep.
And I was
That's
like,
beautiful.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And see, that's exactly. And that happens for a reason. That's to show that you have the gift of being able to see. And that will be part of your spiritual journey, is to, you know, like it's, when you're shown things like that, it's like Spirit saying, you know, you understand, we're connecting, you can see what we're showing you. And from here on out, that will then just get stronger. And now that you've really opened up to embracing it, know that you'll get even stronger and stronger messages. So don't ever hesitate.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
I haven't seen her since. But I think at the time she kind of startled me because she hasn't appeared since.
Yeah,
but
you're ready now. Yeah, exactly. It's like now you have an understanding of it. You will be able to see, and you'll call them in, and they will step in. So don't hesitate with that, because it's like what you're shown, what you have been shown, is the potential for things to open up to that extent, so that you're in control, but you can get them to show you things, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
All right, I will have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for connecting. Please, get in touch via my Facebook page, Australia Psychic Cowgirl, and keep me posted. I'm really fascinated to see your journey. Amazing stuff, Lakeisha. Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Okay, that's been another show. Tonya Reeves coming at you, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl on Facebook. Come and check out my page if you would like to connect. Send me a message and say good day. So thank you for another amazing show. To my two lovely callers, thank you so much. I will see you at the same time, same place next week. Woohoo! Thank you.
A1R, lifestyle, healing and wellness radio. A breath of fresh air. This is A1R, a product of Positive Peak.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. And now, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window with Reverend Elliot. Live from magic-works.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Reverend Elliot's Magical Window on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Greetings, fellow seekers of truth and light. This is Reverend Elliot coming to you live on the Ask One Radio Network, where we get together every Wednesday night at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific to look through the magical window of the tarot. We will be taking calls tonight and looking into things that are going on in people's lives using the old-fashioned methods that have been around for centuries. Tarot cards are a magical window into the things that we don't see. Our senses are only designed to, very limited. We developed not to be eaten by saber-toothed tigers. That's about it. Our senses are designed to make us just run when something scary happens. That's about it. It's to look up something frightening and get us running. And one of the frightening things is anything that startles us and anything that's unexpected. So our antenna is out there looking for that stuff, and it can distract us from the more subtle things. Tools like tarot pick up those subtleties. Tools like tarot can show you what people in your life are doing that behind closed doors that they don't want you to know about. They can show you what's going to be coming up in the near future and what you can do about it. The main thing is when the cards reflect something in the future, it's not written in stone. That's the one thing that you should keep in mind. You can change it because the future now is not the same as the future 5 minutes from now. 5 minutes from now, we're all different people. We have different information. We're 5 minutes older, and the situation can change just by the information the cards give you. If the cards showed you a future that was carved in stone and was going to happen no matter what, which of course is the theory behind every horror movie that feature tarot cards. You might as well do that with the phone book too. Just do a horror movie about somebody opening up do people still have telephone books, by the way? Can I sell my Yellow Pages on eBay? My Yellow Pages collection? The thing is that if in the movies, it's always something bad is going to happen, and then your person is runs from New Jersey to Tasmania to avoid his fate, and then the fate happens to him in Tasmania. That's called irony to Hollywood writers. That's the height of literary pursuit, irony. And they reach for it in so many silly ways. But no, they see that's ridiculous because, let's put it this way. If the cards showed you what was going to happen, regardless of what you did, why on earth would you want to look at them? What would be the point? Oh, look at that. Next Thursday, I'm going to be hit by a bus. Well, thanks. Why would you want to know that? But if the cards would say that there's a possibility of danger for you next Thursday, which I've never seen anything like that in the cards, but it's a possibility, then you might want to do something to find out where that danger is coming from and avoid it. That's the key. What is the point of giving you information if you're unable to act on it, right? That's torture. That's not divination. That's not even fortune telling. That's just out and out torture. You don't want to know these things if they're going to happen to you and it's going to hurt. But if the cards show you, say that around the middle of next year, things are going to get kind of tight financially, you might want to know that because the middle of next year, you got 6 months to plan for that. So that's good news, even though it looks like bad news. In many ways, bad news is best because it'll help you plan for things that could be problems. You know, who wants to look at the cards and see that everything's going to be just fine, right? That's not even good drama. But you've noticed that most of the readings, the regular listeners know this, almost every reading I do for people has a positive ending, has a positive outcome. I think the reason is that you're calling to get advice and get help. So you're on a path towards solving whatever the problem is. And you know what the problem is, which puts you light years ahead of the people who have no idea what's wrong in their life. They just bounce. You know, we've all known people like that. You know, they bounce from one fiasco to another, and they never know why it's happening. It's worth looking into that. You know, I suppose it's neurosis. I suppose it's self-destructiveness. I guess the best definition of neurosis I ever heard was people who desperately want to do the one thing that they're completely incapable of doing. So who knows? You can train yourself to do it. Maybe you can train yourself to do something else, or you can live with it. But the tarot cards can show you what the world is going to be like if you go in this direction or if you go in that direction. So that's why you shouldn't be calling up and saying, should I sell my house? First of all, you're going to just have a few minutes with me. We can't make an important life decision like that. And even if you called me up for a private reading and we spent a half hour together or an hour, I still wouldn't want you to ask me that question, because the real question is, what will my life be like if I sell my house now? What will my life be like if I sell my house in a year? What will my life be like if I don't sell the house? We can explore different options like that. But generally, I found that when people call me with questions like, should I divorce the guy? They know the answer. They know what they want. It's the thing I used to tell people when they ask me questions like that. Flip a coin. Heads, you divorce the guy. Tails, you don't. And as soon as that coin is in the air, you know which way you want it to fall down. So you know, I mean, that's there's nothing that I can help you with. So listen, that's the rundown. We're just going to look at do some readings for people tonight. We're going to look at the cards. We're going to see what's going on in their life. We're going to see if there are any problems. I know we're supposed to say issues. Nobody has problems anymore. It's all issues. Magazines have issues. Cold sores have issues. We have problems. I don't know about you, but when I remember times in my life when I was behind in my rent, that was a problem. That wasn't an issue. The only thing that was going to be issued was a vacate order. So no, we're going to look at life's problems and life's glories and happiness, and we're going to see the good things that are coming for people, and we're going to see how you can make things better. And that's what magic work does too, by the way, is if you do see problems in your life, you can use magic work to get around that. I will talk about that as the show goes on. You can find more about what I do at magic-works.com, magic-works.com. Check that out. There's links there to everything I do. There's a link there to my website. There's a link to my main website. That is a website I'm sending you, but the main website you can get to through magic-works.com. Books that I've written. I was just packing out books today to mail off. There's a good time of year to get these books. Go to mojoacademy.org. Take a look at those books. See if there's anything there that's good for you or for someone in your life, because those are books that will have a positive impact on everybody's life. Take a look at those books at mojoacademy.org. And now we're going to do the readings, which is what you tuned in for, and this is what I sit here for, and I love doing. I can't wait till Wednesdays. So let's do this. I start out with ringing a bell. Now, I do that. People have asked me about that. I do that because bells are significant. They send vibrations into the air. They cleanse. Bells do all kinds of wonderful things, and I ring a bell 3 times to say that my chattering is over, and we're going to enter sacred space, and that's where the readings will be done. So here it comes. 3 is a sacred number. That's why we do it 3 times. And I can explain that to you sometime also. We are now going to light up some incense. There we go. Got some sandalwood burning this time. And pull back the curtain on the magical window for our first reading for the night. And that is Raylene in Canada. Hi, Raylene. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing well, doing well. What can I look at for you?
Basically anything.
Oh. Okay. Is there any particular area in life you want to look at, or just see what the cards show?
Just see what the cards show.
Okay, fair enough. Wow, these are some fascinating cards. I mean, there's some interesting things happening. Are you working on any kind of a new project, or is there anything you're trying to achieve in your life right now?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the first card. You don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, but let me just tell you what that first card I have here is the Three of Cups. And that is about the completion of a matter in plenty, is the way the gypsies would describe it. In other words,